And let's go into game number 1. HERA versus Slam. Best of 9, no walls mod for $150. Here we go. The bets are open. You can get your bets in now by typing !bet Slam or HERA and then the number of points you would like to bet. And we have real-time statistics in the bottom left, so we'll be able to tell you who's the favorite to win. But going into game number 1, we are here. Arabia, of course. No walls mod, of course. And we've got Frank Mirror for the very first game. And both players so polite. Look at this. You know it's a Canadian show match when they both type "good luck, have fun" in the game. This isn't even in the previous game room. It's like just Canadian things right here. So sporting up to the northwest of the map in the purple, it is HERA, and he's playing here in the Franks, of course. Down to the southwest in the green, it is Slam Franks as well. Both players opting for Franks in game number 1. And there's no question that the Scouts are a strong, formidable civilization for this map. And we'll talk a little bit about how the lack of walling potential makes for an exciting game and makes for a much harder game for these players to sort of control. And I think that's why Franks will be picked in game 1 here for both players, in fact. Mostly just because the Scouts, they have one of the best scout rushes in the game. They can get into your wood line, and you might not be able to wall them out. There's no quick walling. There's no palisade walling. There's no quick gates. Poor Slam. What is Slam going to do without his gates? I have no idea, actually. Maybe I should have thought about that. I'm sure Slam will find a way. Maybe he'll use outposts like MBL. Maybe he'll use houses to quick wall instead. But thank you for all those gift subs once again, Alex. Appreciate that. I believe AdStrike was the last one, so those notifications will probably stop popping up now. But yeah, no walls makes it very hard, and it's essentially who's got the most balls here to see who can bring this game home. So looking at the map for Slam, I'd like this a lot. He's got really nice backberries. Okay, yes, it's slightly on a hill here. It's a little bit awkward, but he's got a back gold as well. His wood line is nice and close to his TC, and I guess, you know, it's a great thing that all of this is together as well, because if he does want to come out to the edge of the map and wall with houses, or maybe build barracks over here, he can actually start to block this right side of his base, and that gives him much less to worry about. Over at the front there, he has his main stone, but with the Franks, it's very unlikely that we'll see a tower rush. However, following up the Scouts with some forward villagers and some towers could be an option, but it is a risky option, as of course you'll be leaving those villagers exposed to your opponent's Scouts when you go forward as well. But yeah, I do think Slam's map's very nice for this. Obviously, as the game goes on, if it gets to the late game, which, let's be honest, it's less likely in No Walls that it will get to the late game, he has got his second gold very far forward, and his third gold, I believe this is Slam's third gold. I'm not sure. Oh, no, it's this one here. I was going to say there's no way that could be Slam's, but it is even further away. So his resources are kind of far out. Once he sort of gets to the Castle Age and the early Imperial Age, he'll have to expand out here, and that's going to be harder to defend for sure. But in the early game, it's looking pretty good for Slam. Over to HERA's side of the map, he's currently pushing the deer. Of course, he wants to get those home and boost his food economy in the early game for his Scouts. But his berries are atrocious. Look at that. They're like caught behind this wood line. So any villagers on this left side are going to have to run all the way around the mill and back toward the TC. This could be a great spot for Slam to hit, but it's very likely that HERA will include a barracks and some spearmen to defend this berry patch. And of course, with the Franks having faster foraging, they absolutely want to lock down those berries. At the back of HERA's base, he's got his golds, and both of these golds are at the back. His extra gold is far forward. This is HERA's gold in the middle of the map here, but his main gold and second gold is at the back, and it's definitely raidable, but I guess nothing is unraidable in this map, right? Like, there's no way to completely wall off one side of your base and just sort of not have to worry about it. You have to be aware at all times about those raids. But anyway, both players up now to the feudal age. It looks like we saw HERA pushing deer, but Slam, I don't think he's really pushed any. Has he pushed deer? Hold on a second. I don't see any deer. No, he hasn't pushed deer. The deer over to the left side. So HERA could have a small advantage here thanks to those extra deer which he's grabbed. Transitioning up to farms a little later, perhaps. We'll see. Barracks coming up for Slam in the back of his base right now, and HERA's building his toward the front to make a natural wall off. I'm not sure about this barracks placement for Slam. It does seem odd to put it at the back. Why not sort of here to the right of the wood line so that you can build it forwards? But he's built it at the back for a reason, I'm sure, although it's a little bit unbeknown to me at the moment. He's going to go for the stable, and it looks like he's going to build the stable at the back too, judging by where these two villages are going. And I get it now. Now I get it. He's going to build up toward the back of the map and build a choke point towards his TC. So this is going to be actually a really smart placement. You know, when you think about it like that, okay, this is the start of something here. This isn't just a barracks in the middle of nowhere. By the time he's built the rest of his buildings to the back of the map, he'll actually have a really nice choke point into the TC, and he's already started that house wall to the south, as I mentioned earlier on. So the stable is coming up at the back, and that's fine. HERA's stable is up at the front, of course, as he aims to block that off. But he's far enough away from the edge of the map that he can't really do what Slam is doing here. So Slam's walling with houses, with buildings, very smart about it. There's the spearmen going over toward the berries for HERA, as the first scouts are coming out onto the map now. Now, will Slam keep them at home? I think it looks like he will, and for the time being, neither player's pushing out just yet. We might see potentially some forward spearmen coming as well, but one big difference between the two players at the moment is that Slam hasn't trained a single spearman. He's so confident that he can defend his base by these, with his walling attempt here, that he's not actually training any spearmen. He's saving the resources on those spears, but in comes HERA, and he's going to find those villagers on the edge of the wood line, and I don't think we'll see a dead villager here, because Slam should be able to come in and head this off, and those villagers are close enough to the town center that they can get back. But Slam now with the defender's advantage, 4 scouts against 2, will push HERA away, and HERA will have to link up with his reinforcing scouts in the middle of the map. But so far, both players basically neck and neck. There's a couple of extra military on the map for HERA, but that's the spearman that came out. And HERA's going to take the fight right now. He's trying to micro this down. He'll find a scout very nicely from Slam, and he's bringing forward a spearman as well. Let's see if Slam can engage this. I think he's going to have to back as soon as that spearman comes into the fray. He needs to get away, but he has got his own spearman out. He is, however, down a scout. Now, yes, this scout is only on 3 HP, but Slam needs to target that scout down. Otherwise, this scout will be outputting damage, 5 damage per hit, if that is not killed quickly. So Slam on the defensive at the moment, but I think we expected that to happen anyway, given how he's playing this with his walling at the moment. And we'll see what he can do. He's actually got the balls now to push out. And I like that a lot. He's so confident with his walling, he's going to have to be very careful not to lose any of these villagers on the edges here. But by walling in like this with the houses and closing this off, he gives himself the opportunity to counter-attack. HERA, meanwhile, with 1 spearman positioned on this wood line, should be enough to potentially push this away and buy him time to get another spearman over there. In fact, he's already training another spearman to send to his second wood line, and in comes Slam now. Let's see if he can find something. The spearman's immediately locked onto those scouts, but he's actually going to go for it. The spearman, chasing down one of the weakest scouts, does end up getting jebaited a little bit, and Slam takes it out, but there's another one instantly in place of it there, so he can immediately reinforce and send Slam away. HERA's not found any damage himself, and so far it's been 1 kill apiece, and I think that was 1 scout from Slam, and I believe that was HERA's spearman just there. So very low kill game so far, and that's kind of exciting to me, to be honest. The MBL versus Dogao series last week saw very few late game games. They all sort of ended in the Castle Age. But the way this is going so far, we could imagine very easily both players transitioning up to the Castle Age off the back of these scouts. And you can see already that Slam is seeding down a lot of farms, and he'll be sending some vills toward the gold, I imagine, at some point as well. Actually, you know what? He might not even need to do that. I think if he just has the 2 on gold, it'll eventually just tick over, but it depends how his eco balance is going. But still, the point remains, it's going to be a Castle Age transition for both players, provided these scouts don't do significant damage. we should see that. But at the moment, it's HERA to watch because he is the most open player. He's the guy that's got to defend from these scouts. And these scouts, of course, starting with 54 health. Slam's going to come into the wood line. HERA's immediately running back, and the spearmen are there to head him off. But the spearmen, again, kind of getting debated a little bit. And that extra health on the scouts, just giving them a little bit of extra longevity. We're going to see HERA now walling up with houses, but he's a little bit too slow. The micro machine has been caught out, and that's going to be a dead villager on the gold, maybe 2 or 3 dead villagers, as 2 more spearmen are heading over from the right-hand side. Coming down toward the TC now, HERA does have his scouts here in response, and he'll find a couple of scouts from Slam there, but that's absolutely worth it for Slam. I think that's 2 more dead spearmen and 2 dead villagers, giving Slam a whopping 8 villager lead. However, keep in mind, HERA has done wheelbarrow. Slam is doing wheelbarrow now, so HERA should, in theory, only be 5 villagers behind. But still, that's quite a significant difference, and HERA now should be able to take the fight against Slam's scouts, I think, but he's not confident that he can take this. He's actually backing away, taking quite a lot of free hits, trying to link up with his spearmen and catch Slam sleeping. Slam, quick to react, does lose a scout, but they trade evenly there. And now HERA is up to the Castle Age. I was looking at HERA's food count, and it did seem like HERA was sort of edging toward the Castle Age a little bit sooner. I'm thinking that's probably due to the eco balance, maybe an effect of having those 2 deer. As the fight in the middle of the map continues, more spearmen coming over for both players. But once again, HERA's sort of just ending up on top there. And if it wasn't for the villager losses at this stage of the game, HERA would be ahead in the KD. However, those villager losses have set him back a little way. And of course, HERA's up to the Castle Age now as well. So the villager difference is 8 at the moment, but that is a little bit deceiving. By the time HERA reaches the Castle Age and starts training villagers, he should be able to get that villager difference down to 5 quite comfortably. And of course, he'll get his Castle Age techs a little bit sooner as well. And he might just find a villager also on Slam's farm, but he doesn't manage to pick her off. She's going back to her farm with 5 HP. That would have required 1 more hit from these scouts because HERA has completed forging for the extra +1 attack. Slam has not, but he is doing the +1 defense upgrade right now as both players are going up to the Castle Age and preparing for a transition into Knights. That's going to be 2 stables for both players here. And well, I'm being told to turn on friend and foe colors, but I say no. I say pink and green. They contrast enough, and pink is the best color in the game, so I will rebel. HERA here, dropping down a TC. Slam has the information, actually, at the back of the map. He sees this. This is good scouting info for him. And HERA with the quick houses on his wood line. But, oh, apparently the guy is red-green colorblind. Then I'm an obnoxious jerk. But, all right, I'll do it at the end of this game. If someone's colorblind, then that's actually a reasonable reason. But fight here, engagement once again, should be HERA's to clean up this. He's got the upgrade advantage over Slam with the +1 attack. And he's got the advantage overall right now as the Knights come flooding in. Is there going to be a hole? Of course there's a hole. There's always a hole. Slam over-chopping on his wood line, leaves his villagers exposed. And this is HERA's way of getting back into the game. He might have been 5 villagers down. But right now, he is going to make up for that quickly. Those spearmen as well getting in there. Just going to be debated back, and Slam throwing down his second TC at the back, mirroring HERA, leaving those villagers exposed, however, and I think HERA would be quite happy to throw away a lot of these knights, or all of these knights, if it means finding a couple more villagers back here. He's going to run out with 2. He decided 2 will survive, and in fact, if he can get out with these ones on the left as well, that would just be fantastic. Picking off the low HP villagers on the farms, continuing to wreak havoc on Slam's economy, and Slam now is down behind HERA by 7 villagers. That is a big villager swing. Let's take a look at the graph, and we can see, look at the villager difference right there. It was an 8 villager lead for Slam, and now it's an 8 villager lead for HERA. That's a 16 villager swing in just a few seconds, and that is what the early castle time can do for you if you are that much quicker to age up. So we've got the upgrade advantage on the knights for Slam right now, but HERA is just going straight in again and again and again and finding more stuff. Slam wants to equalize. He's sending his knights out across the map, and we're going to see him trying to hit the back of HERA's base. But there's one difference here, one key difference, and that is the fact that HERA's TC is already up. If Slam's TC was up, he could have garrisoned inside and shot at those knights, but he couldn't. He was still building it, and this time Slam's going to come in, and HERA's on the ball. There's spearmen there, there's knights there, the TCs can protect the villagers. And in fact, HERA's even gone up to the 3rd TC here, while Slam looks like he's staying on 2 TCs for a while. Wait, no, he's not. I'm just blind. I was looking at his stone. He's got 0 stone. I was like, he must have built a 3rd TC. I was just trying to find it. There it is. Maybe I'm red-green colorblind because I couldn't see the TC on the wood line. But there it is. And so they're both going to be on 3 for now. But there is a 9 villager difference. And I believe both players are even on their handcart wheelbarrow upgrades. So this is, at the moment, looking very good for HERA as he throws down the monastery, as is so common for the Franks, adding that monastery. And look at them, both players. No scouting information of the other player, but still throwing down the monastery at the same time, pretty much. Monks coming out, and as is the case in most Frank wars, heal up your knights and convert the other knights. That's the way to go. Not colorblind, just blind. Thanks, Twist. Appreciate it. But yeah, this now is going to develop into a quite exciting game. I really like Frank Wars. I think they're actually really fun to watch because it is just knights, and knights are a little bit more fiddly. You have to micro them a lot more. You have to pay a lot more attention to them. Like when it comes to like with the monks and trying to engage against the monks. Maybe we'll see some light cavalry added in there as well for good measure. But I just love the Frank late game, and I hope we get there. And it looks like this game could lead us toward the late game as Slam comes in. Now, he's the one to trade blows. He's going to try and find some villagers. This TC is full. These 3 villagers here are toast, and HERA is too far away to react to this. So Slam equalizing the villager count as best he can here. He's still got a long way to go to catch up on villagers, but he's doing his best to close that gap. It's only 6 villager now, and still the knight numbers are fairly close as well. 17 to 19. This is very close as it can get, really. We do also have the pikeman upgrade, remember, for Slam. And I wonder if we're going to see a big Castle Age push. It looks like Slam, though, is moving over to stone. And, of course, those cheaper Frank castles are so good when you can't build walls. Locking down. Imagine if HERA had a castle over here. Like, that would just lock down that left side of his base so well. Maybe even over here. Could be a little far away, but he'd get an attack bonus on anything running in this way. And, you know, that would just really secure his base. And I guess the same can be said for Slam. A second TC, or a castle, not a second TC, a further TC out toward this gold would be very valuable, and having a castle to protect that would be great as well. Moving into the middle of the map, though, Monks coming out for Slam doesn't get any conversions, and man, of all of the random elements in the game, you've got 2 major things. You've got random maps, and you've got Wallalow randomness, RNGesus, as I like to call it. Sometimes monks will convert things almost instantly. Other times they feel like they're taking a lifetime, and that's an element of the Frank War that I really enjoy. I love seeing the monk micro. I love seeing who can turn the tide of the battle with the monks. And we'll see what happens here as Slam comes forward with the pikes as well. HERA has the attack upgrade advantage with +2 attack. And of course, even converting pikemen here is good. If HERA can convert a pikeman and bring it back, then good for you. You've just got a counter unit to the knights, which are threatening you. But HERA should have a castle fairly soon. And of course, cheaper Frank castles should enable him to build that a little faster. As HERA as well adds a second barracks and goes for some more pikes, or researches pikemen. In fact, he already has pikemen. He's doing +1 defense right now. But, oh my goodness, Slam. Oh boy, Slam. That's what I like to see. Coming forward, he bought stone, by the way, at the market. He bought stone by selling food. And he is going to drop that castle on HERA's face. HERA needs to stop this. He doesn't have enough stone. He has got enough gold to buy a castle, but it doesn't look like he's planning on doing that, as the Imperial Age upgrade is looking a little bit too tasty at the moment, but he's forgetting to click the Imperial Age upgrade, so maybe that additional stone could be better put to use with a castle. He's going to build the castle on the front. It's going to deny the main stone. And HERA is just waiting in the wings. Where's the upgrade? Oh no, he forgot to build a second building. The siege workshop's coming up at the back of his base. And look at that, HERA with so many banked resources right now, forgetting that second building, maybe thinking he'd have a castle in time. And now he can click up to the Imperial Age with 700 food and 700 gold left over to spare. To spend even. But this could be risky for HERA. Slam, not going Imperial just yet. He's dropping down a 4th TC on the gold, as I said before. He wants to protect that. And by putting this castle so far forward, he's almost sort of bringing HERA's attention to the front of his base. But HERA's not falling for those tricks. You know, that castle is aggressive. That castle is very aggressive. But what does it really do? It stops HERA from gathering stone, and it prevents him from getting those 2 farms and maybe costs him a house. HERA's not actually too bothered by that castle. He's immediately pushing out with the knights. He's going to leave the monks in his dust and try and take an engagement on Slam's side of the map. But Slam here should be able to start outproducing HERA. Actually, you know what? Yeah, I think he will, because he's adding more TCs. His Imperial time isn't so fast, but he's got that extra TCs up. He's got the economy here. And he should be able to start out producing HERA. But you know what? I'm not so sure about that. Look at the villager count here. HERA is way ahead on vills. And I just want to quickly take a look at the villager graph. Ever since he got ahead before, he's stayed ahead. And he's even grown that lead to 16 vills advantage right now. So even with Slam adding these extra TCs, he is behind in villager count. And that castle, it might not stay up all that long. If HERA does buy a castle, he could easily treb that down. But I don't think he's too bothered about that. I think he's just going to ignore the castle. He's not even, he doesn't care. He doesn't care. It's like, what does that castle really achieve? Not enough to distract HERA from his main objective, which is upgrading his army and pushing down the middle of the map to end Slam. Slam, halfway up to the Imperial Age. HERA, meanwhile, already researching Cavalier, already researching Haub, plate mail armor coming in for the pikes, or the Haubs as well. And it looks like he wants to force the engagement at Slam's base. And maybe Slam would have been wiser to place his castle on this hill on the right side to prevent HERA coming in here and harassing those villagers on the gold. Slam going to throw down a castle on the left. That prime castle location has been blocked off by HERA and his Haubs here. And Slam's going to quickly wall up in front with houses. HERA deleting a couple of his knights to prevent the conversions coming in. The conversions will come in the end anyway, but looks like Slam was actually converting the knights there and not converting the Haubs. And I do question whether converting the Haubs would have been the better decision, as they would have countered the knights from HERA a little bit better as well. The castle can easily take care of the Haubs, but the knights soon turning into cavaliers could be a problem. And Slam's economy now struggling a little bit. But I can't help but feel that HERA's throwing away a lot of units here underneath this castle. But sure, the pressure is really on, and looks like at the back of HERA's base at the same time as this was happening, Slam has caught HERA napping. He's going to find so many villagers over here, so many villagers going down on this TC. HERA's noticed, but it's almost a little bit too late. That villager count certainly closing, but HERA finding so many villagers on Slam's side of the map as well. The farm's getting raided, the TC's forced to go idle. Slam only has fletching, and these Cavalier have +2 defense, or +4 defense now, so they're taking very little damage, and there it is, the GG from Slam. HERA able to push the advantage far too quickly, and that difference in the upgrade timing was absolutely huge. Slam wasn't able to trade off enough villagers. He lost too much in return. And at the end of that game, there was a 20 villager difference. But more importantly, HERA had 54 military, most notably a lot of halberdier at home to defend his base, while HERA, or Slam on the other hand, was left with, well, basically nothing to defend at home, which is interesting. He made a lot of pikemen that game, but then he stopped production. And once he reached Imperial, he started doing his Cavalier upgrade, but there was no second barracks, there was no defensive pikes, and with no walls, there was no way to stop HERA from running straight into his base. Well, if we come out of the game to the Civ screen, we'll have the Civs updated on the screen for you, and we're actually starting the next game already. I did ask them if they'd wait a minute before launching each one, so they should be taking their time. And I've just got to send the password to a couple of streamers asking for it for the Spanish stream. But yeah, there you go. First game going the way of HERA. A good win for him, but by no means at the end of the series. I mean, it's a best of 9. It's the first of 5 wins, but a very strong start out the gate for HERA right there. He played well, and it looked like he was behind, but then once he sort of realized that he had that villager deficit, he very quickly struck back, and he very quickly went and raided. Okay, looks like HERA may have changed the game room password, so the players trying to get in might need to get that from him. But yeah, so everyone now has been given 100 points. We have a leaderboard as well. You can see the leaderboard. We don't have that to show on the stream, but I actually forgot to check who was favored. Can anyone remind me or tell me who was actually the favored player there according to the chat? Looks like we're going into the next game anyway, so bets are about to open. You've all been credited with 100 points, so if you lost, HERA is favored 60-40. Okay, good stuff. So if you are interested in betting, you've all been given 100 points. If you lost your previous bet, let's bring the betting information up on screen, and we'll be able to keep that going. Looks like it's blue and green now. Is that acceptable? Is blue and green okay? You know what? I'll put blue and red for the rest of the series. Just to keep it consistent. There you go. Bets are open. Exclamation mark bet, followed by the player you want to bet on and the number of points you would like to bet. If you lost your previous bet, you've been credited with 100 points to bet again, and everybody will be given 100 points before each game starts. I don't know how to turn off this chat bridge thing. I don't know if I do chat off if that will work, but maybe Robo can message Mundo and the other people trying to get in, because I can't do it right now. But anyway, we're here with game number 2, HERA versus Slam. HERA leading it after we saw a fantastic Frank war in game 1. It looks like we're going to see another mirror match, and this is interesting because last time we had a show match with these settings, I don't think we saw a single mirror match with MBL and Dogao. They both chose different civs for every single match. This time around, it's mirror in game 1, mirror in game 2. It's a Mongol war here, and we've got HERA spawning once again to the northeast. That makes it nice. He's going to be in the same position as last game. This time he's in the blue, though, since I've turned on team colors. And then down to the southwest in the red, it's Slam playing as the Mongols as well. Now, we're going to take a look at their maps in a bit more detail. But this time, I'm not going to forget to look at the bets and acknowledge the bets as well. Well, after the first game, HERA won, but it wasn't like a really one-sided game. See, the thing about walling is that it's kind of like an insurance policy. You spend a little time walling, you invest a little bit of resources in the hope that later on in the game it pays you off and prevents your opponent from, you know, steamrolling you as soon as they reach the Imperial Age and get Cavalier, which is kind of what happened last game, right? So if Slam had been able to wall, that's kind of like his insurance policy. He's investing into defenses for later on in the game. Now, with no walls, you can't do that. So a small advantage can very quickly turn into a very large advantage. If that was a normal game with walls, that faster Imperial time by HERA, it was only a minute and a half, probably wouldn't have been so game-ending, and I think Slam probably would have had a better time defending from it. However, this time around, since there's no walls, a small advantage can very quickly snowball into a very large one if it's not dealt with quickly, and that's kind of what Slam failed to do by leaving no defensive pikemen or spearmen at home. So this time around, we've got Slam southwest again. He's again kind of close to the edge of the map, and his map doesn't look as nice as it did in the first game. His berry's a little bit more exposed, and for some reason, I'm currently on your... There we go. I'm not on your screens anymore, but there you go. His berries are a little bit more exposed on the right side. A couple of downhill hits, potentially, from any raiding here. And then the gold, also a little bit more forward than last time. This gold back here is nice and safe, though. In fact, the left side of Slam's base can be walled very easily. The left, and he's doing that now with houses. The front's going to be fairly open, and I don't think he'll easily wall that for a while. But he's going to be careful around the back, too. This could catch Slam out here if Slam's not paying attention. Go to Slam's point of view. He has scouted that, but we'll see if he remembers to sort of block that off. He'll need to build a house here or something, or here, because something could get through here and snake its way through the back of Slam's base. And by something, I mean scouts. HERA, he's not even giving me time to really look at his map. I'll do it very, very quickly. Look at that main gold. It's disgusting. It's very far forward. His berries and woodline at the back, not too bad. Could be defended quite well, but the gold for HERA here is very, very bad. He has got a sort of secondary gold or tertiary gold at the back. Tertiary gold? Tertiary gold? I don't know what I'm saying. You know what I mean. A third gold spot. But he can wall that off here, I guess. With houses, of course. But that might be his safest gold for a while, because this one is very far forward, and it's kind of smushed up against that wood line, which is kind of ugly as well. But his feudal age speed is insane. Looks like HERA here with the barracks already down, the stable coming up as well, and he's already, as soon as he reaches the feudal age, raiding the wood line of Slam. He's looking for that village. Oh my god, he gets the villager kill! No way! Oh my, I can't believe Slam let that happen. And he's going for the one of the berries as well. 1 HP for HERA, calculated. Oh my goodness, that was so good for HERA. What a start. And Slam here not having Loom, going up so early, very quickly, but not quickly enough, it seems, to be caught out by HERA there. And I thought Slam would defend that by bringing the Vills into fight, but down a Vill, it's not the end of the world, but it certainly hurts. The hill definitely helped, but not having Loom, that makes a big difference as well. Stable coming up for Slam then. But the difference in speed here is phenomenal. Obviously, HERA sacrificed some early economy. They're even now because he got the villager kill, and now he has an advantage because he's going to be ahead in scout production. It's 4 military to 2 already, as HERA has 3 scouts and 1 spearman. And Slam has, I think, just 2 scouts and a spearman right now, or 2 spearmen. Yeah, 2 spearmen, 2 scouts. So HERA's ahead here. And we'll see what he can do. Obviously, Slam's immediately going to send the spears to the berries. It's very common to try and hit the berries in a scout war. But I'm worried for this villager here. This villager with 20 health could be an easy target for the HERA if he gets in there. And once again, HERA's going to come forward with a spearman as well to try and pressure this as best he can. Now, Slam has more spearmen, but he's down in scouts. He might have to bring his villagers into fight as well. But the spearman there, good for his Slam. He gets the spearman onto the scouts. And, oh no, this is bad for Slam. He's going to lose a scout there. And he's got a villager in here to fight as well. But it's now 1 scout against 4. 3 scouts now. But that's going to be a dead villager as well for Slam as he brings his extra scout over. But the worst part about this, the most unfortunate part about this, is that Slam had a spearman right here. And he didn't bring it into the fight. That could have gone his way if he had the second spearman in position, but poor micro from Slam resulting in yet another villager loss, and he's now down in scouts as well, but not significant. I mean, he's 3 scouts to 2 at the moment, 4 scouts to 3 once Slam's finished trading this one, but definitely favoring HERA, and he's pushed him successfully off of the forage. This is bad. This means that Slam now needs to seed more farms if he wants to keep his food income up. And at the moment, he actually cannot afford to train more scouts. He's not got enough food income to train scouts. He'd rather keep the TC running than idle it for scout production. He's going to have to fight with villagers here. And this isn't too bad. He's got another spearman coming in, so that should push HERA away. And using his villagers to focus on the spearman there does result in Slam defending himself quite nicely as his own scouts are heading across the map. He's looking for weak villagers here. Are there any weak villagers? Well, there's one, but HERA's very quick to spot this and should be able to pop that villager into the TC. The scouts, though, going to head toward the back, and they should be able to now find a villager in this wood line. This villager should be toast, and she is. And maybe Slam's going to double dip and go back for more. He will. Oh, of course he will. He's got to be careful, though. At the very least, he can force these villagers to go idle, but he does not want to throw away these scouts for nothing. And in comes HERA's scouts, so I don't know if Slam's going to get away with the double dip. He will. He'll get two villagers, and he'll get out with about, 19 health on those 2 scouts. But that's good. That's good. Slam equalizing things a little bit, and in fact, now Slam has a small villager advantage. I don't know if that's because HERA perhaps did a wheelbarrow. That could be a potential. Nope, he doesn't have wheelbarrow. So he must have idled his TC a little bit here because there's a 2 villager difference now. And I believe both players lost 2 villagers so far this game. But HERA has a much larger mass of scouts. And I guess he's just been prioritizing scout production and idling that TC from time to time. It's looking like 5 scouts for Slam right now. And HERA up on 7. Should be good, and I'm just wondering if HERA's going to consider doing a blacksmith upgrade fairly soon. There is no blacksmith in sight just yet. But in fact, that's at 8 scouts for HERA. He's just continuing on that scout production. And at this point, you know, a blacksmith and bloodlines could be absolutely huge, especially when sort of dealing with these spearmen as well. You can definitely micro them down and focus them down a little better. But it's really just Slam, just sort of defending. He has He has notably put the house at the back here, and he's sort of walled himself in with houses quite nicely. He's done a good job of that. But yeah, he absolutely does need bloodlines. He is in fact gathering the gold now, so I think we'll see bloodlines any second. And HERA should try and hold off on an engagement until bloodlines is done. Bloodlines isn't done yet, HERA. You got to go back. You got to go back. I think Slam will also be doing bloodlines very soon. But with the larger number of scouts and the larger health pool on his scouts, I mean, consider this, right? Slam has 7 scouts, but 2 of them are basically dead. So Bloodlines is going to give him basically 1 health on these scouts, which is nothing. 1 additional health, that is. So he's only essentially got 4 scouts that Bloodlines is going to apply to, whereas HERA, on the other hand, has, 3, 6, 7, 8... 7 scouts, which Bloodlines will apply to. So the difference here is going to be hugely in favor of HERA, and I would fully expect HERA to be able to win the next scout engagement with the extra health pool. You see this scout here? When HERA researches Bloodlines, in fact, we can check the scouts from before. They only have 3 HP. They had 2 HP before. So Bloodlines is essentially wasted on those scouts, and with HERA getting it now, as I say, he's going to have this huge health pool advantage on his units. So numbers can be a little deceiving as Slam now pushes out on the left side. Let's see what he can find. He's going to run straight into the spearmen, and all those spearmen, they're going to find the weak scouts very quickly, and now HERA can come in with a massive scouts. Oh my goodness. Slam's in trouble. 4 scouts versus 7 full HP scouts there. And even this scout here, you'll see it only has 4 HP. It's like Bloodlines did nothing. In fact, what? Wait, whoa. HERA's cancelled Bloodlines. HERA actually cancelling Bloodlines. So there you go. Don't always trust the overlay. HERA cancelling Bloodlines here. He was confident enough that he was thinking to himself, you know what? I don't need Bloodlines. All I need is a second stable in the Castle Age. I can defend from this Slam guy. No problem. But can he? Slam is coming in. This is a risky play by HERA now, as there's a lot of spearmen here for Slam, and he doesn't have the bloodlines in this engagement. So Slam will come into the back. He'll find a villager kill. The spearmen are going to be extra effective against these scouts as well. And now HERA has to be very, very careful. Bloodlines is now coming in again for the second time. But Slam, see if he can really capitalize on this. He's going to find some more scouts at the back. And, of course, his own scouts now have bloodlines already. So this is good. But I do think HERA is ahead here. The Castle Age upgrade, in my opinion, is much more valuable here than the extra scouts with bloodlines. So HERA, I think similarly to last game, might start to, what do I say, steamroll Slam, sorry. But I think he'll definitely get a lot out of this earlier Castle Age. And by the way, if I do say ham, please excuse me. Obviously, I work with a guy called Ham, and HERA and Slam together kind of makes ham. So, yeah, you'll have to excuse me if I make that mistake. But Slam now going to have to back away because that light cavalry upgrade's coming in as well. And oh my goodness, no way. Slam is staying in. Don't stay in, Slam. That's a bit suicidal. There are a lot of spearmen here. And scouts about to become light cavs. This is interesting though, isn't it? I mean, Slam going full feudal here. He had no intention of going up to the Castle Age right here. He was like, yep, you know what? Now is the time for full scouts. This is risky, but it could pay off. And both players here taking risks. I like it. HERA taking the risk of not doing bloodlines and going for the faster castle. Slam taking the risk of going full feudal, and it might just pay off. Slam's going to find a lot of villagers over here on the right-hand side. He's got full upgrades on these scouts, so they're going to kill villagers a little bit faster as well, and he is denied that TC from HERA. He is finding villager kills. It's 31 vills to 47. Slam just clicking up to the Castle Age, but the damage has been done, and Slam now forcing HERA to chase him down as he denies that TC in the north and even gets a villager kill on the TC in the south. HERA's expansion of his economy has been slowed right down, and Slam now just baiting these units to run right the way up to the north of the map, buying himself time to get to the Castle Age before they come and knock on his door on his side of the map as well. That was so huge for Slam, and it was a risk by both players. HERA took the risk of forfeiting bloodlines for the Castle Age, and Slam, he took the risk of going full feudal, but now that risk is starting to hurt just a little bit. Slam now losing villagers to the knights on the front, and my goodness, Slam calls GG right there. You know, I really thought Slam would hold on a little bit, and it feels wrong to me that he is calling GG right there. Yes, he was still about a minute from the Castle Age, but I guess he thought that he wouldn't hold against these knights. And a 10 villager advantage at this point is huge. But he has to be able to produce units, and he has to be able to make the knights. And I'm surprised that he's called GG so soon. Maybe if he could have walled across the front with houses, it would have been a different story. But it looks to me like he just gave it up right there. So there you go. Sorry, guys. I just quit out the game really quickly. I was going to show you the post-game stats, but I didn't because they've already launched the next game, and now they've aborted it. Okay, just give me a second. Robo wants my attention. Hello. Can you get the password off them before they start? Well, I tried to give them the password, but HERA changed it. Yeah. I'm going to do that now. All right, sorry, guys. There was an issue with the game password, and some of the Spanish streamers couldn't get in. I think they've got it now. So here okay, cool. So second game was the Mongol War, obviously going the way of HERA. Congratulations if you bet on HERA once again, giving him a 2-0 advantage. But you will now be credited with another 100 points, and the bets will open for Game 3 very soon. Again, I asked the players if they would wait just 2 minutes between games to give me time to address you guys in the chat and to talk about the betting stuff, wherever it is up here. And they're launching straight into the next one. I think they're a little bit eager to play. But it's looking good for HERA so far, let's be honest. But I think both players are making... both players are taking risks, which I like a lot. I think it's important that you take risks and you play a little bit outside of the box if you want to sort of get an advantage in these kind of settings. But at the same time, I think that HERA is playing very well at the moment. You know, he's controlling his army very well. He's sort of pushing at just the right time, and I think that's working really well for him at the moment. Anyway, the betting will open for the next game once it starts, and that should be fairly soon. I'm just wondering if I could get a headrest for this chair. They come with little pillows, and we took them all off, but I'm just thinking now, if I had a little pillow behind my neck, that would be really comfortable. Hint, hint. Someone in the office, find me a headrest. But yeah, it's really just HERA getting to the feudal age, the castle age, just that little bit faster, and taking that advantage. I do think, though, that Slam could have maybe held on in the last game, and I do also think that Slam could have gone to the castle age earlier and kept the game in his favor. Thanks, Robo. Robo's bought me a pillow. Can you just let's slip it around the chair? Perfect. Thank you. There we go. All right, we are going into our next game, HERA versus Slam, game number 3, and it's already a 2-0 advantage for HERA right now, but now is your time to get the bets in. Exclamation mark bet HERA, exclamation mark bet Slam, sorry, and you can see the information at the bottom. Apparently we're doing 5 minutes for betting. All right, well that's fine. HERA 2 is quite a slow starting game. There's not a lot happening at the early stages, so I think that's no problem. I'm just going to adjust my little pillow here. There we go. Cool. So we've got HERA now down to the southwest. So HERA is now in the southwest. He's playing in the blue as the Indians. And then up to the northeast in the red, it's Slam playing as the Mayans. And this is interesting because it's the first non-mirror match, which is nice. We've seen a Frank War, we've seen a Mongol War, and now it's time for Indian versus Mayans. Right, looks like the betting has been restarted with 3 minutes. The only problem is it's taken 2 minutes to reset the betting, so the betting is still going to end at 5 minutes of game time. So probably should have just left it at 5 minutes, but it's no problem. It's still going to end at the same time anyway. But you can actually bet on the games now. Exclamation mark points to see how many points you have. Exclamation mark bet Slam or HERA and the number of points you want to bet. The player, or the viewer, sorry, with the most points at the end of the stream will win a Steam game up to the value of $40. So get your bets in and good luck. So it looks like Slam's actually favored in this game. And I guess now you guys have seen the civs, you might be favoring Slam because of the civs. And that's why we start the betting once the game has begun, because then you can see which civs they've actually picked. Indians and Mayans. Well, Mayans are Mayans, what can I say? And I haven't really had the opportunity to talk too much about the civilizations so far, because they've all been mirror matches. But this time around, it's something a little different. First of all, though, I want to address the maps, because that's so important. And I like HERA's map a lot. We've got the berries at the back. We've got the second gold at the back. This is very safe and defendable back here. Even his wood line could be safe back here and here if he takes it. His main gold is forward. His main stone is miles away. But that doesn't matter too much if he's got gold and wood in the back anyway. Slam, on the other hand, let's take a look at his map. He's got gold to the front. He's got berries to the side. Stone at the back. But he's got this very big cliff on the left side, which could be sort of closed off a little bit. I don't know how he would go about that, but Slam will find a way. Slam always finds a way. The problem for Slam is his wood line. It's quite forward of his TC, and his second wood line at the right side here, it could be walled off with houses, of course, but it would still be quite exposed. And if Slam does get pushed off of this wood line, he basically doesn't have a wood line. So with the maps in mind, and with the civs in mind, you can get your bets in now. Slam, coming forward with the eagle, looks like he's looking to try and steal a boar or lame a villager or something. He's got to get some kind of advantage somehow, and the Eagle Scout is a great way to pull an advantage. It looks like HERA wants to claim the sheep back, and with them both being Canadian, I think it's kind of beyond them to steal or lame. But I thought for a moment there Slam might try it and kill the villager luring this boar. HERA, being the micro god that he is, will be dragging that boar home and blocking it with the scout to make sure it gets home safely. The Indians looking to scout rush. The Mayans looking to do some man-at-arms action, I believe. We see the barracks coming up here, and we see the second boar being taken now. So if Slam goes for men-at-arms, which this could be, although yeah, he could do a drush as well here. It's quite an early barracks he could do the drush. But either way, drush or man-at-arms, it's going to be a very aggressive opening from Slam. We might see that followed up by a tower, which could deny the main stone of HERA here. But it looks like the chat thinks that Slam is the favorite with 56% of the bets. So we'll see if he can pull through in game number 3. Obviously, he's going to be more motivated than ever to get a win here after losing the first 2 games in succession. But it looks like Slam now will be going for the militia, training them out, and going over to the gold as well. He actually hasn't gathered the gold yet for the next militia. So he's waiting for that to come in. And so I imagine this will end up being man-at-arms by the time he reaches the feudal age. Here, on the other hand, a very fast feudal age. Barracks coming up here. Very nice enclave for his villagers gathering the wood. And very efficient lumber camps as well. Perfectly split with 5 on each. Very nice positionings. And quite well protected, actually. I mean, some archers here could be a nuisance. And obviously, we're expecting archers from the Mayan player. But these ones should be very well protected back here, unless Slam builds a tower on this wood line. So the barracks is coming up. The stable now will come up right here in front. And HERA's doing a really good job of walling his base with his buildings as best he can. I like this a lot. Meanwhile, there's Slam across the map. The militia coming out. The man-at-arms upgrade probably coming in any second now. There it is. And the villagers coming forward as well. Let's see what Slam sees. He sees where the lumber line is. He sees the main gold. And he's probably thinking, you know what? I've just hit the jackpot. I'm going to get a tower up on this main gold. I'm going to get a tower up on the wood line. And I'm going to just absolutely mess HERA up. But what he doesn't realize, because of his lack of scouting the back of HERA's map, is that HERA has gold. He's got a very safe wood line here. And I don't think that Slam's aggression will do as much damage as Slam is thinking it will. Anyway, meanwhile, HERA's bringing out some villagers to retaliate. That's 5 villagers coming out from HERA. Only 4 villagers sent forward for Slam. So you could argue that Slam's getting the advantage here thanks to the idle time. But, of course, Slam also risks losing those villagers as well. He does immediately take down 2 scouts, though, losing just a man-at-arm and his eagle for that. And his villagers now being chased down as well. He's got to be very careful to take the scouts out of the picture. He is bringing over a spearman as well here. And wow, I mean, he's dragging HERA halfway across the map. If anything, this favors... Wait. Yeah, this just does favor Slam, providing he doesn't lose a villager here. If Slam doesn't lose a villager, he's okay. But I think he'll lose a villager. Oh, wait, no, he won't. Not yet. The men-at-arms coming in to protect them as those 2 scouts run forward. They're trying to catch that villager at the front, and I think Slam is doomed to lose a villager here, but maybe not. Here comes a spearman from the barracks. Slam, keep those villagers alive. Can he do it? Can he do it? He's literally dragging HERA all the way across the map to his base. HERA's like, well, I don't have any men-at-arms, but I guess these villagers will do. And if anything, you know what? This works in Slam's favor. And I'll tell you why this works in Slam's favor. Oh, maybe not. He's going to lose a villager. That villager is trapped. And I think that villager might be dead. No, not dead. Yes. God, you kept every villager alive so far. He's finally going to lose a vill. Slam so far, killing 2, losing 6. As he fights to defend his base here. His archers coming out as well, being attacked by spearmen. But he does stand to kill all of the forward villagers from HERA in this engagement. It's been so messy so far. HERA following it up, though, with more scouts. But like I say, HERA stands to lose more. 5 forward villagers against the single loss of Slam's villager here. Slam, in fact, already 2 villagers ahead as he comes in now to try and kill the remaining vills. And he does get 1 more. There's 2 more alive, 1 with 1 HP. That one's dead. And the final villager from HERA here going down. Of course, HERA's villagers are cheaper, so you could argue that they're worth less. But they still gather resources, and you still need resources to do stuff. That's as simple as an explanation as it gets. And he's down now by 4 vills. So overall, like I said from the start, that actually worked out quite well in Slam's favor. What a messy start to the game. And I'll tell you another reason why that worked in Slam's favor. Because Slam was planning to drop towers here. And because he didn't drop towers here, he's kind of saved himself the resources, I guess. He's not actually sort of, you know, wasting a tower on this gold, which, okay, yeah, he could deny the main gold, but like I said before, HERA can always take the gold in the back. So in a way, this is kind of benefiting Slam in multiple ways. HERA's still trying to find villagers, but it's unlikely he'll get one, I believe, as they're very close to the TC, and they should be able to run back successfully. Still, map control in HERA's favor, as Slam now builds a tower on his gold to secure that gold income and start Archer production. HERA should be going into skirms here, knowing full well that the Mayan player is looking to make archers, and he is doing just that. And obviously, that archer switch is absolutely expected from the Mayan player. Nuclear Pasta in the chat thinks that HERA is in a better position despite the losses. Well, all I can say is really don't underestimate the Mayans' cheaper archers. Having this villager lead and having cheaper archers adds up. It really adds up. His eco should be considerably better at this stage of the game as a result. But that said, HERA is not giving up. He is still raiding, and he's still trying to find vills, and he does eventually get one. You know, persistence pays off in the end for HERA there. Low HP scouts, good to keep them alive. Good for picking off any straggling archers or any skirms. And you can see on the left side here, how I said earlier on, not really going to be too much of a threat over this wall of houses. It looks like fletching's coming in now for Slam. And HERA already has fletching, so he's a little bit ahead there. I do wonder, though, if HERA, or Slam, sorry, might consider adding 1 or 2 eagles in the mix at some point, because there's a lot of skirmishes out for HERA, and at some point he has to acknowledge that. He, of course, can add skirmishes of his own, and that's exactly what he's immediately doing here. He's switching away from archers and starting skirms, but it's absolutely worth it here to stay on archers or make skirms as well, but then add a couple of eagles, I believe, just to deal with the skirms very effectively, because they will really tear you a new one if you get caught out with your archers against them. And yes, sure, the Mayans have cheaper archers, that's great, but doesn't mean that you want to throw them all away to skirms. And HERA has full upgrades now, full feudal upgrades. Wheelbarrow is coming in, and the pressure is on. So again, like I say, HERA behind economically, but he's still sort of kept this map control, and he's building counter units now, so he has got a lot of potential to do damage here. His army's kind of split. Got to be careful not to lose these skirmishes at the front for free, and of course at the back, the spearmen sort of trying to zone off the scouts as well. But HERA now going to come in with the skirms, and I mean, it's so awkward for HERA. He can't take the fight he wants at the moment. He's trying to focus down the spearmen. If he can kill the spears with the skirms, then it's no problem. The scouts can go in and wreak havoc. But at the moment, he's struggling to do just that, and the scouts have been zoned quite heavily. But it's enough to sort of at least distract Slam a little bit. But in the end, I think that works out very well for Slam as he defends here. HERA does pick off a few archers, but Slam now continuing skirmisher and archer production. He's got that big bank of gold. So for this, I mean, he could either build a market and go up to the castle age a little faster, which is probably the preferred play. But I don't see why you wouldn't add a couple of eagles just for good measure, pad your numbers, and deal with any more skirms that could be coming your way. HERA, on the other hand, though, already clicking up to the castle age. Obviously, transitioning into skirmishes after scouts leaves you with a lot of farmers. And with cheaper villagers, you really are going to surplus that food very quickly. So, castle age is in. And this is pretty strong for HERA. Again, that faster castle age time, it really makes a big difference. And I think, you know, if Slam had built the market already, he could be up to the castle age as well. But the market being rushed up now by 3 villagers is just a little bit too late. So he's going to buy the food, and he's going to click up. But the difference in timing here is significant. However, Slam could kill off all of HERA's army. He's got to be careful. This scout's doing a lot of damage, but he does take out a lot of the skirms as well, and forces HERA all the way back. But he needs to kind of kill more villagers. He needs to get in there. It's difficult to get in there, though, when HERA's basically closed it all off with houses. I do think there's an overchop opportunity on the left side. We'll see about that in a moment. But meanwhile, Slam here going to keep focusing down on this, and the scouts are so effective here. They're really doing a good job at killing all of those skirms. And look at the KD now, 35 to 30. HERA's got so much value out of those scouts. They're just like refusing to die. Bloodline's absolutely paying off. And even catching out that archer at the back. It looks like HERA was able to defend from that aggression and will be well set up here for that Castle Age. Now, yeah, on the left side, could overchop this, which could lead to raiding later on. I'm just wondering where HERA's going to drop his TCs. Let's see. This is so good for HERA now. This is so good because he's not built the defensive tower. He's not built any tower at all. He can afford to build 2 new TCs. He's going to go to the wood line to the north. And then we'll see about the second one in a bit because he doesn't have the wood at the moment. Elite Skirmisher coming in. Bodkin Arrow coming in. And that gives him a little bit of raiding potential over this wood line with the skirms. And I'm just wondering now, yeah, it will be Eagles. I really think that Slam should have gone Eagles earlier, to be honest. He had that huge surplus of gold. And I know they create really slowly, but adding in a couple of Eagles really would have turned the tide of the battle. But now, Eagle Warrior upgrade coming in, more Eagles coming out, and they do produce faster once the Eagle Warrior upgrades comes through. They're such a slow producing unit in the feudal age. 60 seconds for an Eagle Scout, 35 seconds for a Scout. So it's a very, very big difference in production. That's why he's got 3 barracks down here. But with that said, you know, HERA's got 3 rangers, and he's going into Cav Archers now as well. So, easy counter for the Elite Skirms, and should easily clean up these Scouts as well, with their cavalry attack bonus. But Slam's going to have to sacrifice his eco for this. He's, at the moment, having to gather a little bit of stone. That means his second TC isn't up yet. His third TC isn't on the way. HERA's third TC could be coming up soon, as his eco now is really going to be, or should be, focused on wood and gold for these Cav Archers. So that third TC could come up on another wood line. It could come up on the gold at the front. We'll see. He is actually taking the gold on the back, which is very sensible as well. And we'll see what Slam can do now. I kind of just hope that Slam goes all in, but I don't think he will. It looks like he's preparing a TC here on the front. And the next TC will follow once he gets the stone. But as I say, that could take a little while. HERA going for his TC on the front. As I said, I think that's a good spot for it. Taking that gold control at the front of his base. Because this one, while it is great, it's only going to last so long. He's about halfway through mining that. Well, not quite halfway through, but about 40% mined through. The Cav Archers, however, is strong here. I mean, they've already got bloodlines, of course, from the Scout upgrade. He upgraded it for the Scouts earlier, but now after Cavalry Archer is going to benefit from that as well. Bodkin Arrow is done, +1 defense is done. They're fast, they're mobile. They're going to be very strong here. And again, like I say, they're just, the mobility is the main part of this. He can come around the back and raid the farms. He can range the villagers. He can come here under the watchtower. Doesn't care. Kill a couple of vills, perhaps. Yeah, there's 2 dead. And I feel like Slam might just be playing, you know, Ring Around the Rosie here. He might just be chasing HERA for the rest of the game at this rate. What Slam really needs is one, like, decisive push where he forces HERA to engage him and deal with him. Otherwise, HERA dies. That's the way that you prevent this raiding. But Slam's going to struggle with that if he's planning on going for a third TC and just sort of playing an eco game. I think he needs to be more aggressive here. And I think he needs to push hard to prevent those Cavalry Archers running circles around him. They're really strong. Nuclear Pasta's in the chat saying, post-imp Indians should destroy post-imp Mayans. But can the Indians survive till post-Imperial Age? That is the question. That is the question. And most of these games haven't gone to the Imperial Age. If the first game did, that was the only game that went to Imperial out of both of our show matches so far. This one and last week's show match. So, can it go to the Imperial Age? I don't know. I don't think it needs to necessarily. I think HERA's in a position to win this game from the Castle Age here. He's got a significant villager advantage. He's got a more mobile unit, and he's finding villager kills with that unit as well. And it's only going to get worse for Slam, as his army is busy chasing this group of Cavalry Archers. There's another group coming over. +2 defenses coming in as well. And HERA's got Slam in the palm of his hand at the moment. Slam's going to head them off with some skirms, though. Switching into skirms now. It's reasonable. He doesn't have defense upgrades, though. He's only just doing that now. And that Bloodlines upgrade is helping a lot. Still, though, HERA doesn't want to stand and fight skirms while the Eagle Warriors get up in his grill, so he will have to back away for that. And meanwhile, light cavalry is coming in, so he can start doing a counter unit for the skirmishers. So I do like HERA's position a lot. But he might need more than this. I mean, at the end of the day, it's been said many times, the Mayans are the Mayans. And with a relatively small eco and elite Eagle Warrior, you can very quickly turn the tide of battle. A castle and plumed archers can very quickly start turning this around. Now, getting a castle probably isn't on the top of Slam's priority list, given that he's only got 2 vills on the stone. But what he is doing now is starting to force the fight a little bit more in front of HERA's base. The problem is HERA just getting Thong Ring, and he's got enough Cav archers here to one-shot these eagles, I believe. Or pretty much one-shot the eagles. The other problem for Slam is that he doesn't have any siege. Well, there you go. Right as I say that, he drops down the siege workshop on the front. Now, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I want to see from Slam here. I want to see aggression. He has got up to 3 TCs. I would have liked to see more aggression, but it is coming now. Finally, it's coming. It's happening. It's happening. Someone get your Bernie Sanders gifts out. It's happening. The siege workshop drop on the front of HERA's base will allow him to, in theory, pressure this gold mine and this TC. But HERA now adding in another stable. Looks like we're going to be seeing a lot more scouts production. But Slam has a good mix here. And although he's 22 villagers behind, it's Ron Paul, not Bernie Sanders. My bad. I'm being corrected there. I don't know my American politicians. I should stop. But looks like HERA's like doing his classic HERA play, and just like, yeah, you know what? I'm gonna ignore this. I'll just push out across the map. But I think he lost his nerve there. He's gonna come around the backside and find the eagles. This is a great little find. And if those elite skirmishers had been a little bit further away, he could have picked off a few more Eagle Warriors there. HERA, of course, does see the siege workshop as well, and he's putting his own up. But the mangonel is already out, and it looks like HERA is just planning to cut off the reinforcements successfully, I might add. That's 2 kills for free. And now Slam's a bit undecided. Like, do I chase down the Cav archers? Do I just go all in and pressure the TC at the front? Decisions. It's a hard one for Slam, and he's put himself in a position now where he's sort of caught between the base of HERA and the army of HERA. He can't reinforce his army without them dying to the Cav archers, and now he has to decide, well, what do I do now? And HERA's putting him in this situation where actually, if he had ballistics, he'd be killing a lot more stuff. He's still got the overwhelming advantage here, though, finding so many free unit kills. This is absurd. And Slam's like, okay, I'm just going to attack the houses here. That seems like the best play at the moment. No, I'm sure he's not really thinking that, but what else can he do? He's far too outnumbered at the moment. 43 military to 51. And he really, really, really wants to defend this mangonel, but it's a free mangonel kill for HERA. He's going to get it. And he might end up losing a few of these light calves, but in come the cavalry archers, and he's done such a great job, HERA here. He's controlled his army so well. And this should be a GG. There it is. Slam calling it right there. And HERA, so smart. You know, he brought those Cav archers to the back. He prevented Slam from reinforcing. And then as soon as Slam sent that bulk of skirmishers back, HERA used his mobility and immediately brought the cavalry archers back to the front lines to clean up. And Slam was caught with half his army on the wrong place at the wrong time and the other half exposed on the front. HERA looking dominant right now, and you guys favored Slam in that matchup. To be honest, I probably would have favored the Mayans in that matchup as well, but things didn't go too well for Slam once again, and it's a 3-0 lead for HERA right now. HERA is making a strong case for the best Canadian player on the scene at the moment. We'll see if Slam can start to pull this one back. This is tough. This is real tough, and I hope that Slam can begin to pull this back, because you don't want to get into your head too much. 5 wins to secure the victory. Slam needs to get a win on the board now, otherwise it's going to be match point in game number 4. Well played to HERA so far, though, looking very dominant, and it looks like Mayans not living up to the hype, and the Indian play from HERA, they're working out so well for him. It seems like the cavalry civs definitely favored by HERA as well, certainly favoring scout play over anything else. And then obviously the transition into cav archers here was so strong as well. Mine's more awkward, but definitely a powerhouse, unable to really get to that powerful unit composition that they need to get an advantage. No plumed archers, late in my opinion to go into eagles, and full skirm for the mines is probably not the best way to, or the best position to be in. Anyway, we're going to back out of this game now. Next game will be starting in just a moment, and I didn't show you the stats because the next game was already launched. I'm going to type to them again though. Just to remind them to please not launch the next game so fast. But it looks like the next game is starting now, so you guys will be able to... Oh, hello! Do you like our artwork? It's a samurai. It's kind of being covered up by the betting will begin shortly. But yeah, it's kind of... I look kind of lonely over here, don't I? But it's fine. I'm not lonely. I'm with you guys. All of you guys are still here. But yeah, the next game has started. The betting will open in just a moment. You'll all be credited with 100 points once again. And, well, I really hope Slam can pull something off here. He's a great player. But, man, is it tough. If anything, though, this is a good matchup. Slam hopping onto the Indians. He's like, right, I see you, HERA. I see you going with the Indians there. Let me bust out my Indians and show you the moves. And that's exactly what he's done here. Sporting to the northeast in the red, Slam with the Indians. Down to the southwest, Slavs for HERA. Now, civ-wise, Slavs could be somewhat countered by the Indians. Any cavalry? Camels. Any infantry? Gunpowder. I guess, you've got to get to the Imperial Age for the gunpowder, but it's still a strong civ. Cavalry archers, yeah, no problem. Good raiding potential for the Indian. Slavs, not so much. They could do archers, but it's really not their strong suit. So, I think this is good. I think Slam or HERA needs to go for some early aggression here. I think we'll see that. I think we'll see the Drush, maybe men-at-arms play. We could see that from Slam as well. There's nothing stopping the Indians from doing that, but they do have a strong scout rush, so they like to go into scouts, as we saw HERA do last game. But the civs are good for Slam here. What about the maps? Well, we'll take a look at the maps real quick before the betting ends. We've got 1 minute and 20 to get the bets in here. Gold is forward for Slam. The berries are forward, but close enough that that's not really a problem. This gold is a problem. This gold over here in the back is a problem. This stone is a problem. This stone, probably also a problem. In fact, everything is a problem. I don't like Slam's map at all, with the exception of his wood line, which isn't too bad if he can sort of close off the left side of his base. He might do something where he walls up from the back again, but we'll have to wait and see. The problem here for Slam is absolutely going to be gold. We may end up having to see a tower on the gold if he gets attacked early. We may see a TC here or here against this wood line to protect the gold. That's a good TC spot later on. It is exposed, but it's okay, and he might be necessary to secure that. HERA's side of the map, taking a quick look, he's already walling off the right side with houses. That leaves him with a very secure gold and a very secure berries. His wood line also reasonably secure, close to the TC. He can wall down the front here with some buildings. And, of course, he can wall in from the right side if he wants to as well to create that choke point to the town center. His main stone is on the wrong side, but his secondary stone is at the back where he can actually quite easily wall again if he wants to. So I'd say HERA's got the better map. Slam, not looking so good with the map, but the civs could favor Slam if he plays this one right as well. But it looks like you guys, after the current record of 3-0, are still favoring HERA this one. 68% of you. 69% of you going with HERA or backing HERA in game number 4. And to be honest, I can't blame you. It's 3-0. Slam definitely not looking the greatest in this matchup, but he's definitely going to be motivated and determined to pull this one back and start to equalize the series. Imagine the reverse sweep. Imagine how hype that would be. I'm not losing hope in Slam just yet, and I hope you guys aren't too. At least 31% of the bets went towards Slam, so there's enough people who've still got hope as well. Right, so Feudal Age is coming in for Slam. Looks like we're going for the fast Feudal into Scouts. He's not going for any of that early aggression stuff. And for HERA, interestingly, no barracks either yet. It looks like he is also going for the fast Feudal into probably... Well, he could go into Scouts as well. It looks like he's doing that at the moment. But he's only got 3 vills on berries, which is interesting. Maybe he forgot to add the 4th vill. Regardless, he's going up with 1 extra villager, 30 seconds behind, basically neck and neck in villager count, villager production. Slam now, though, will, for the first time, actually have the first mover's advantage. He's actually going to have a small edge here with his Feudal Age upgrade. It seems like he's always sort of been behind in the aging process, and that sort of cost him a lot over this series so far. We'll see if he can do something about that now by getting his barracks up and starting the aggression a little bit sooner. Oh, scout fight on the right side. This is good for Slam. He's about to get feudal, and that means that HERA's scout is confirmed dead. I'm calling it right now. There you go. It's over for HERA. He's not even going to fight that. Oh, what am I talking about? He is going to fight that. He's not even going to try and run away or avoid that fight. He knows it's done. So Scout's advantage for Slam. First blood for Slam. 6 HP, but it can still do damage. Don't underestimate the damage that this Scout could still do as a pack of larger Scouts. So stable's up, and we'll see the first Scouts queued. Stable for HERA as well. I did think he'd go for some early aggression. Looking at his scouting, he does see that the main points of Slam's base. He sees the berries, he sees the main gold, he sees the wood line. And he's probably thinking, you know, I've had so much success with my scout raids so far. I've just kind of been out-maneuvering and out-controlling Slam. I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing. I'm not going to change the status quo. This is working for me. And of course, with Slavs having such insane farms, they should be able to pull an advantage up to the Castle Age as well, and that's kind of where I think this is leading. I think that if Slam can get the camels out, I think he'll be in a good position. And if you know, let's say HERA goes for like a lot of pikes and siege, then that could be quite deadly. I think we could see Slam transitioning into Cav Archer at that point and going for siege of his own. But the problem is getting to the Castle Age. And like I said, the first player to the Castle Age seems to have this big advantage on no walls, just because they can really capitalize on that upgrade speed. And if HERA can do that, which with the slab 15% farming, he probably can, then he should be in a good position this game, all things considered. So we'll see how this develops. Slam, of course, going to push out first. Slam needs to do some early damage here. He really needs to do some early damage. He needs to try and find 3 or 4 vills, I think. Keep in mind, of course, Slam will save food on every villager he builds, so he sort of has an indirect food bonus, and HERA's food bonus is a bit more direct with the gathering of the farms. But Slam saving villagers, saving food on every villager should allow him to surplus a decent amount of food. But look at HERA, he's so defensive here inside of his base, patrolling with the spearmen, sending out his scouts. Slam's like, I see you, Slam. HERA even. I'm going to shut that down before that develops any further, and maybe head over to the left side to make sure he doesn't sneak those scouts past. But like I say, HERA's actually well walled right now. And Slam, he's walled off the left side, and he's walled in at the back, so that's great. The main gold's still going to be a problem, but at least his economy is somewhat safe for now, and he sort of is trying to take map control. It looks like he's actually just missed HERA slipping up to the north there, so HERA's going to be sending a raiding party of 4, while Slam has 6 scouts and 2 spearmen coming forward. At this point, like, he's got to pick off the spears with his own spears and then try and slip the scouts into the back lines. Boy, oh boy. It looks like HERA's going the wrong way, so this is Slam might be catching a break here. There you go. He's trying to keep the spearmen occupied. Occupy HERA Street. And, whoa, it's going to the back. Quick houses from HERA there, securing the wood lines. Looked like he might have just overchopped, but he didn't. And Slam, the army control, losing a scout. He was sleeping, caught slipping for just a second there. And, oh, the quick walls from HERA at the back, or quick houses at the back, trying to force those scouts toward the TC, but he forgot to garrison the TC, or he didn't garrison the TC. Slam going to find one scout, but no villager kills so far. Has got 3 spearmen forward, though, and, well, HERA has 4, so it's going to be tough. Defender's advantage for HERA going to work out quite well for him, with the spearman count definitely working well. And I think Slam, if anything, will want to preserve his scouts here and try and go for bloodlines if he can. Yeah, that's exactly what he's doing. 3 villagers on gold for Slam. We will see bloodlines coming in. He's got enough scouts to justify it, and he basically wants to get that HP buff, and then he can sort of take the fight to HERA without worrying too much about the spearman. Obviously, he worries about the spearman, but he's not got to worry as much as if he didn't have bloodlines. Wheelbarrow coming in a little bit sooner for Slam as well. And it's worth noting that, Wheelbarrow for the Slavs isn't actually as effective as Wheelbarrow for other civs with regards to farming. So the biggest advantage that the Slavs have is before Wheelbarrow. Once both players have Wheelbarrow, their advantage is diminished somewhat because the Wheelbarrow upgrade gives a bigger boost to non-Slav farmers than Slav farmers. I believe, unless that's been fixed, but I don't think it has. So, Slam in the back. Sorry, HERA in the back. Quick walls from Slam, though. Nicely done. Is that a gate? Nope, it's a house. Not a gate. I meant outpost. The only other one-tile building that you can build. He's building a lot of houses here. He's really trying to force that damage onto those scouts. But look at the difference in castle timing. This is significant. Slam, he's not doing bloodlines. He's saving for the Castle Age upgrade. He's keeping those scouts alive. Castle Age is coming in any second now. He's having to use the market. It's unbelievable, isn't it? HERA, so much faster to castle here, thanks to that Slavic farming bonus. And normally, in a game like this, you'd be like, right, he's going castle really quickly, no problem. I'll get some walls up. I'll make sure he can't just rush me down as soon as he reaches castle. This time around, he can't do that. So, at this point, HERA's going to have a... What is this? It's going to be like almost a minute advantage. It is a minute advantage on the Castle Age. Is that going to be enough to convert that into a win? I want to say no, but then again, I'm not so sure. I'm not so sure, because last time we saw the Imperial Age upgrade was about a minute difference, and HERA did definitely win very quickly in game 1 with that advantage. So right now, HERA posturing on the right side of Slam's base with a lot of forward spearmen, but it looks like Slam's kept up his spearman production to try and pick these spearmen off, and Slam now coming in. Get bloodlines first though, Slam. HERA already has bloodlines for the record, so Slam absolutely needs to wait for bloodlines to come in before he engages this. And at the front, meanwhile, he's added 3 archery ranges, so it looks like we'll see that classic sort of typical Indian cavalry archer switch, while HERA, on the other hand, goes into knights as expected. But maybe it's not so expected. Maybe Slam's like, well, surely he's not going to go double knight production against Indians. I can just make camels and counter him. I guess I'll just try and be one step ahead of the curve and go into cav archers. Well, actually, HERA's going for knights. Now, the nice thing here, of course, is that he already has bloodlines, and he'll be able to add some camels as well once he spots those knights from HERA. HERA, meanwhile, though, adding a second TC, adding a third TC. His eco is nice and protected in the back. He'll be able to very easily boom, as well as making military production with his farming bonus here. Slam, on the other hand, he's going for bodkin arrow and bowsaw. He's going to go for the cav archers. I guess he's just not expecting knights, but he'll see them now. He'll see them in the fog there. Knights to meet you, HERA, he says. I'll just add a camel. Go on, add the camel. I know you want to add the camel, Slam. I know you need to add the camel. You can afford a camel. Make a camel. Please. Please make a camel. Alright, I guess he doesn't want to make camels this game. Cavalry archers it is. But oh, wow. He's actually going for pikemen instead. I'm very surprised. I'm very surprised. But I guess his thought process here is, if I just leave a bunch of pikemen at home, I can go and push out with my cavalry archers, and I'll be able to do the raiding damage in return. I still think camels would be better, but whatever. He's doing husbandry now, and he's got quite a lot of spearmen to upgrade into pikes already. This is pretty good. And I'm presuming he's expecting the sort of pike and... Oh, nice quick. Well, he used an outpost. He did it. Lovely stuff. Slam with the walling, with the outpost here, just to block that last slot. But I guess he's anticipating that HERA will go into, like, pikes and siege. So that's why he opened here with the Cav Archers. Of course, the Cav Archers are better at raiding as well. See what Slam can find as he comes in here. He'll find a fistful of arrows as HERA garrisons the TC, but he can certainly force a lot of idle time from HERA now. HERA's struggling to do as much damage. I like Slam's position. I do. I like it. 2 TCs for Slam. 3rd TC not up, so he's going to fall behind economically, but he has got a big military lead. It's an extra 9 military units on the field for Slam right now, and if he can convert that into damage, then that's a lot of damage for Slam. That should definitely play well in his favor. The challenge, of course, is doing the damage. The challenge is actually getting in and killing villagers, because at the moment, yes, HERA is walled. And HERA is responding to this aggression on the left side by sending his knights over. And now, of course, the pikemen are out of position. They're defending Slam's base. They're not mobile enough. They're not camels, right? They can't just come over here and support this army. However, good for Slam. He will find these scouts. It does at least remove the potential for HERA to do damage later on in the game with those guys. But Slam now does have to be very careful because these knights have +2 defense. And he needs to get out with those Cav Archers before he gets caught and killed by the knights. He's got to bring them toward his pikemen, which, as I said, are not maneuverable enough in this situation. I really thought he'd make camels. I'm shocked. No, he's going to add a university at the back, going for ballistics nice and early. And, of course, against fast-moving targets, ballistics is very valuable. Against these knights, it will allow Slam to do some extra damage here. Meanwhile, looking at the eco of HERA, he's spending down his resources very quickly. He's switching into skirms as well. So again, camels would be valuable in this position as sort of meat shields and counters to the knights. Even some monks would be a good choice here to try and get some conversions on the knights, almost as if you were playing like a Frank war or something. HERA's just doing fletching for those guys. Slam getting ballistics now, and look at the knights. They're just running circles around him. Slam's never going to take a good engagement with these pikemen. In fact, HERA's probably thinking, well, he's brought his pikemen all the way across the map. Let's see if I can go and raid him now, because he's probably not got many pikes at home. And he'd be right. There is an 11 villager difference. Plus, of course, the Slavic better farming. Nice to see, by the way, HERA's actually using his scouts to scout the rest of the map. Just to look for any additional golds, any relics that he can find. This is really good stuff. Just to use those sort of scouts that are low on health. Not able to really do much with them now, but scouting is always viable. And here you go, Slam finally getting some raiding damage. But this is in contrast to the last game where we saw HERA finding damage all over the map with those Cav Archers. Slam here only getting 2 villagers. 3 villagers now. That's thanks to ballistics. But still a 10 villager difference as HERA comes out with the elite skirms, and he's getting ballistics now as well. Slam's going to try and get away as HERA tries to intercept him. He's going to run directly north to avoid the knights. Should be able to get out quite comfortably. And HERA now is in a position where he's not able to return the damage, but he's also able to stop Slam from doing damage as well. So it's kind of a bit of a stalemate at the moment. As HERA expands to a 4 TC on the left side, I think we're going to see Imperial Age coming in this game. I don't think it's going to be anytime soon, but I do think that Imperial Age is entirely possible this game, of all the games we've seen so far. Imperial is going to happen at some point. Slam, though, looks like he wants that forward castle again. We saw what happened last time he went for the forward castle. It backfired. It wasn't in an important position, or the forward castle wasn't in a valuable enough position. This time, though, we'll see where he places it. If he can place it here, he'd deny the gold and the stone and get in range of that TC and the wood line. So that would be an amazing castle for Slam. Meanwhile, he's going to try and back up to the hill here. I don't think he has got Thumb Ring. but he's got the hill, and he's got enough damage on these cav archers to nearly one-shot the knights. He's doing a good job of engaging the knights for sure, but the elite skirmishers at the back are also able to one-shot the cav archers, so he does need to get out. He lost most of his pikemen there, but there goes the castle, and I don't know, HERA should be able to see this, but he's not responding to this. He's got his gather point set to the front, the knights are running forward, and HERA's kind of responding to this attack here, and this is perfect for Slam. He catches HERA's army out. One of the first times this series that HERA's made a mistake. His elite skirmishers kind of lost the trail, and now it's Slam's turn to make the mistake as well, losing 3 cavalry archers there for free, but he does rush the castle up, and it does go up successfully. Slam now does deny both the gold and the stone in front of HERA's base, but he doesn't have the range over the TC. With that said, Imperial Age, this shouldn't be too far away for either player. It will happen at some point. Slam needs to wall this, and this, and this, and then he can get this TC up as well on the front here, bringing out some cav archers to try and deal with the knights. And Slam's doing a really good job now, getting into the back of HERA's base. HERA nearly has enough stone for a castle, but those villagers have been forced back to the TC. A quick house here to try and stop those cavalry archers, trying to force them to path awkwardly. Does buy his villagers enough time to get back to safety, but Slam will find more villagers, I'm sure. HERA trying to block him off with a house here, successful. The elite skirmishers at the back closing in. Slam could lose a lot here. The cav archers are going to have to get out a dodge, but HERA's got ballistics on the skirms, and he's split them in such a way that he can do maximum damage. Fantastic play for HERA, getting so much value out of these skirmishers, but Slam does kill a few more vills while he's there. He's still behind in villagers, though, as a raid comes in from HERA at the back. Slam has to quickly garrison his TCs. Fortunately, he has got TCs to garrison in this time. And with +2 attack from Fletching and Bodkin Arrow, he will be able to successfully take down most of this raiding army quite comfortably. It does cost him a few villagers. He is behind now by about 20 villagers, but he's also up to the Imperial Age. This is the first time that Slam's been up to the Imperial Age first, and one of the few games where the Imperial Age has actually come in with the No Wars mod. We don't see it all too often, but this is good for Slam. He's in a position now, a winning position almost. Nah, who am I kidding? It's not a winning position, but it is something that could turn into a winning position if he's able to do a lot of damage very quickly once he reaches the Imperial Age. Camels! I heard a camel! He's actually making camels right now. It's happening. It's actually happening. This is good. If he can catch out the skirms with the camels. I just wish he'd have done this sooner. But yeah, with the forward castle, Imperial Age could result in a dead TC. It could result in a dead castle from HERA. It's about a 1 minute difference, so HERA could keep this castle alive if he repairs it. But man, I just wish Slam had done some camels earlier to take care of those skirms. He's doing +2 defense now, and he's getting in there, and just look at the damage they'll do, right? Like, they just completely disrupt the skirms. The skirms, they can't even shoot because they have to, like, run back. 3 camels is enough to clean up this whole army at this rate, and the 4th one's coming over. As long as Slam doesn't leave his cav archers in range, they should be taken out quite nicely. There are more skirms coming over. My main concern is the economy right now. I mean, HERA's pulled ahead by 40 villagers. That extra TC at the left and right has absolutely given HERA this eco advantage. Just look at the villager difference. I'm going to show you the graph right now. It's a big advantage. And he stayed ahead this whole game. Resources gathered for HERA, it's going to be huge. We'll take a quick look. Resources gathered. Look at the difference in food. 7,000 additional food, 3,000 additional wood. And he's behind on gold and stone. HERA now in a position to make a lot of military very quickly. The castle coming up. The first trap's coming out. He's going to immediately target the castle to the left here. And those camels are finally getting in there and doing damage. I just don't know why he didn't do it sooner. See what Slam's decision is here. Another TC on the right side, by the way, for HERA here. I think I don't want to say HERA's won this game, but I think he's won this game at this point. HERA, though, making Cavalier now. If anything, now is the time to go for heavy camel. Get those camels out. The late game should be good for the Indians, but he's got to survive through this weird patch of the game where he's behind economically now. And HERA is going to have so many more units than him, thanks to having those extra resources in the bank. Good job here, though, killing some vills at least. Bracer making a difference on that castle. And let's see, this could be a good fight. This could be a great fight. Cavalier isn't in yet. +4 defense isn't in yet. Slam, though, getting caught out once again. Wants to have the hill advantage. Doesn't want his cavalry archers to be taking damage from the elite skirms. And HERA's just finding so much value here every time. There's just not enough camels for Slam. There's not enough camels out. And he's forced away. I thought that would be better than it was. Cavalier isn't even done yet. And now it's going to come in. And I think we'll see GG from Slam if these Cavalier get into his eco and they aren't dealt with quickly. Slam going heavy camel now. It's like if only he had more camels, right? Like if he had 10 additional camels now and heavy camel comes in, he'd clean this up. But the Cavalier at the back going to force Slam to idle his TC. They're going to find villager kills as well. And Slam at the front is losing his castle. 3 trebs to 1. Slam just didn't have the eco, I guess, to keep the treb production up and do all of his upgrades at the same time. This for HERA is so good right now, and Slam is just getting out-ecoed, essentially, I feel. He's got heavy camel coming. He's holding on for that. Maybe he can turn the game around with heavy camel. But HERA has so much map. Just look at his expansion. He should be grabbing relics fairly soon as well, given the positionings of them and how he has most of the map control now. So I'm going to lose those forward villagers as well. It's 89 villagers versus 152. I think HERA might have overboomed a little bit, but he's doing every single research at the moment. Throwing down barracks, getting ready to transition into Halb, which is what we expected to see anyway from the slab player in the late game. And Slam has made this transition into heavy camels, which right now is great. But once the Halbs start to come out, they're going to be countered hard. HERA, though, has overboomed for sure. He's up to 190 pop here. He's losing a lot of his army in this engagement. Like, look at the damage here from heavy camel. It's so effective. And the villagers now for HERA is, like I say, absolutely huge. But he has to make sure not to overboom as well. He has overboomed. He's just hoovering up all of the resources around the map. But Slam isn't giving up yet. He's holding on. Halb is about to finish, though. It's going to be a problem. We need to see heavy cavalry archer from Slam and heavy camel and imperial camel if possible. And then he's actually going to have a very solid army composition. Got the hill at the back. This is good. And if he can take out the skirmishers from the fight, then he can absolutely take down the Halbs as well. No defense upgrades on these guys either. Still 156 vills for HERA, 105 for Slam now. If Slam can get up to 120 vills, then he can hang on. It's looking very ropey for Slam, however. And yeah, these camels also lacking upgrades. Just to show you, just to really just point out how strong they would have been earlier on. Problem is now this Halb's in the mix, and we've also got Dragina coming in for HERA. So Dragina obviously going to give those Halbs a blast radius attack. That's going to be absolutely huge. Slam cannot engage them with his camels. He's going to have to avoid them at all costs. They're going to be so deadly. Attacking uphill though, that's not so bad. But, yeah, if Slam could just get upgrades on the Cav Archers, the problem is eco. Eco. He just doesn't have the gold for all these upgrades. He needs more upgrades, but he's got to dedicate that gold to villager unit production, and I think that's game right there. I think it's over. I think Slam's going to lose this fight. I think HERA's just going to flood units in, and I think the game will probably be done pretty soon. But Slam really doesn't want to give it up yet. He's like, I cannot lose this. I just can't lose it. But there it is. The GG is called. Slam calling it right there. The GG moment. As I said, I'm just kind of frustrated here. I think that Slam maybe made the mistake here of going for the ranges, going for the Cav Archers. I think they could have had potential. They could have done a lot of damage if he'd been able to raid. But when he saw the knights with his scouts and committed to cav archers, I mean, fine, you can make cav archers, no problem, but at least mix some camels. At least add a second stable earlier and start doing camels earlier. You saw the difference that the camels made. Once those camels came in, he got so many kills. Look at the KD, 184 to 162. Like, Slam's army is very effective. The problem is he never had the eco to get the upgrades he needed and to produce what he needed in the late game as well. HERA so far ahead at that point in the game. Slam, slam, slam. It's 4-0. HERA takes the win again, and I really don't want to see Slam getting 5-0'd here, but I'm going to remain neutral and, or try to at least. I don't know. I don't know if I'm being neutral. Maybe I'm not being neutral, but the game was over quite a long time ago with the eco advantage that HERA had. But on your screens there, you can see the civilizations picked so far. We could see Mayans from HERA now, but judging by his playstyle and what he's been doing so far, I expect we'll see probably something like the Huns at this point in time. Or another sort of cavalry civ. It seems like HERA is really favoring those scouts, really favoring that cavalry play. Even against the Indians, HERA unafraid, essentially. So you'll be credited with another 100 points in just a few moments. I'm going to be right back, and maybe someone in the office could play some music. I'm just going to take a quick break here, and we'll get our next game going in just a few seconds. All right. So our next game, potentially our final game, will be starting in just a few moments here. Obviously, it's 4-0 to HERA in this best of 9, and the first to 5 wins gets it. Man, I can't believe it's this one-sided at the moment. I hope that Slam can find something in the last game, at the very least, to give us more games, right? I'm really enjoying the games so far, and I think no wall mod is very exciting as well. It's much more fast-paced. Each unit is so much more valuable, and finding villager kills is so valuable as well. Could potentially be our last game, though, and so make sure you get your bets in. Make sure you're betting the first 3 minutes of game time, so that your first 3 minutes of the game, so that you can have your chance of winning a $40 Steam game. Thank you, by the way, to PBAT for subscribing with Twitch Prime earlier. Sorry I missed you. And Snape Snaps as well. Thank you for the Twitch Prime sub. 8 months. Much appreciated, guys. And all the support. Really appreciate that. Obviously, you guys are allowing us and giving us the opportunity here with your support to be able to host these events. And we plan on putting on weekly show matches for Age of Empires 2 every single Friday and Age of Empires 3 every single Sunday. So far, we've done one Age of Empires 2 show match last week, and we did one Age of Empires 3 show match last week. We've got another Age of Empires 3 show match on Sunday. And if you have never watched an Age of Empires 3 competitive match before, come and tune in on Sunday. Same time, same place. and definitely give it a watch. It's very exciting and it's very interesting, at least to me, to watch. I always sort of brushed Age of Empires 3 aside, but I do think the competitive scene it's exciting. I have to say it, like it's really an exciting game to watch. So if you're available on Sunday and you've got nothing else planned, do pop over to the stream and have a look at some AoE 3 stuff as well. But last week, obviously with Dogao and MBL won very convincingly, and this week HERA is ahead very convincingly as well. Even in our AoE 3 show match, it was a 5-1. We need to like match players a little better, I think. I mean, all of our show matches so far have been a little bit one-sided, but I'm hoping that as we do this more often, we'll get some really close games, and I don't want to count Slam out yet. From this position, Slam can still win 5-4. We'll see how many other people believe that when we see the betting during the start of the next game, which should be starting very soon. But at the very least, guys, while we wait for the next game, give us a follow. We're streaming every Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. Age of Empires 2, mostly, with some Age of Empires 3 mixed in there. Some community games on Mondays, some board gaming action on Saturdays, and sometimes even the ECL on Saturdays when we have the ECL to cover, all here on the Escape channel. But yeah, we'll be announcing some new events soon as well. We've got some stuff in the pipeline. Looking forward to updating you guys with that. And we'll also, as I say, be doing these show matches every Friday and Sunday. And give us some suggestions in our Discord for who you'd like to see next Friday for the Age of Empires 2 show match. If you join our Discord server, the link will be in the chat. You'll be able to leave some suggestions there about players you'd like to see, players you think would make a good match for our next show matches. And we're always reading and listening to your suggestions. So pop over to our Discord server. As I say, the link is in the chat there. And you can also talk to us and give us your ideas as well. But we're currently waiting for our next game to start. It looks like one of the players might have just been taking a short break or something. But that's fine. That gives us time to have a break as well. Maybe Slam is quickly frying up some Canadian bacon to give him superpowers for the next game. I've heard that's the secret. Canadian bacon with maple syrup on top, and then just eat that real quick, and he'll be basically doubling his APM, and he'll be able to win the next game comfortably. So if we see Slam winning the next game and dominating the next game, we know why. Love the show matches so far. Maybe 1 week try without no war mod. We'll actually be replacing the show matches on Friday with a weekly Friday tournament. Obviously, more information about that will come in due course, but there will be other maps and there'll be other stuff happening as well with that. So you'll get to see that later on. But bet Slam Canadian bacon. There is no contest running. Stream Elements, get out of here. Awesome poutine. What is poutine? I've never had poutine. I've heard of poutine, but I've never thought to ask about what it is. Anyone want to tell me what it is? I've actually been to Canada one time. I went to Vancouver. Great place. Lovely people. Nice city. I'd love to go back sometime. Elliot, if you're watching. Very yummy. Well, that's a great Fonsk. If it's very yummy, but I don't know what it is. Here, eat this. It's very yummy. What is it? It's yummy. Brown gravy with fries and cheese. Oh, damn. That sounds like something we'd get here in the UK. That sounds like something we'd get. Only in the UK, we go to the chippy. We go to the fish and chip shop, and we get like... it depends what you want. Obviously, there's a few different things on offer, but some of my favorite, fish and chips, of course, battered fish with chips, and sometimes you have like a curry sauce or gravy or something like that as well. Curry sauce is nice. That's sort of traditionally English, believe it or not. And apparently it's very nice. Curdled cheese, though. I'm not sure about the curdled cheese. That part doesn't sound so great. Anyway, I'm wondering if this lobby can't be bugged, right? Like I don't know. It's weird. I guess HERA's just AFK for a second, but he didn't tell me that he was going AFK. So Once the game starts, we'll be in. But at the moment, we're still waiting because one of the players seems to have gone AFK. I'm gonna message Slam real quick. See if they. He's in Do Not Disturb mode. That makes sense. Let me try message HERA. Maybe he's in Do Not Disturb mode as well, though. Hello. There we go. Slam is AFK. Okay, no problem. So we should have that in a minute. Once Slam comes back, he's just probably having a quick break. I told you it would be Slam. I told you he's going to go and fry up some Canadian bacon. Yes, announcing announcements. It wouldn't be me without an announcement of an announcement, would it? That's just how we roll. I don't know. It's like I want to get people excited about stuff that's happening, but I don't want to like ruin the surprise before we're ready to talk about it. But I just can't. I can't not talk about it. You know. I'm so bad at keeping like things secret and surprises. I'm really bad at it. I'm the kind of person that would end up like ruining a surprise birthday party because I just can't keep my mouth shut because I'm too excited about it. Craving some poutine hard. Too bad I live 2 countries away. Where do you live, Superwalk? He's playing the mind games? I was thinking like Mexico. But I don't know. Maybe Slam's just sort of getting his focus back. He knows this is it now. He knows if he doesn't win this next game, it's over. And the game after that, and the game after that, and the game after that. So it's gonna be a tough one. But stick with us. Don't go anywhere. Our 5th game will be coming up as soon as possible. I just hope that Slam will be here sooner rather than later. And there we go. The game is starting. We are going into game number 5. So get ready to place your bets. And Alex the cat, right as we start. Good timing, Alex. Thank you very much for the 1,000 bits. Much appreciated. And I hope you're enjoying the stream today and the show match today as well. I don't know if you're more of an AoE 2 or an AoE 3 guy. I mean, I see you in all of our streams. Maybe you're just a general AoE fan. Or maybe you're a fan of the ham. I don't know. Whatever you are, thank you and appreciate that. So, bets, you've got just under 2.5 minutes now. Looks like it's 50-50 right now, but we'll see how that changes. HERA will be the Huns. Predicted, expected. I said it right. I said HERA's going to take the Huns next game. What did he do? Huns. Slam, he's gone for the Slavs, and it seems like this is almost like a theme now. It's like, right, you won with the Indians, I'll take the Indians. You won with the Slavs, I'll take the Slavs. The only problem is Slam hasn't actually won yet, so he's really just trying to mirror his opponent. But that is not necessarily the case, because the Slavs are, as we've seen already, a fantastic civ, and I'd say that the Slavs are better against the Huns than they are against the Indians, but, you know, HERA still won as the Slavs against the Indians. So this is going to be an important game for Slam here. He has to find something in this last game. It could be the last game if he loses, of course. It won't be the last game if he does find something and wins. So yeah, you can tell I'm getting tired. I'm mincing my words a little bit. But anyway, Slam has got the gold in the back, got the berries in the back, and he's very close to the edge of the map, which can work nicely. We saw him earlier, sort of walling up to the edge. And he definitely could do that again to protect the back of his base, leaving the front open, protected by the TC. And the right side of his base is very open. His gold's kind of forward. His 2nd and 3rd gold, at least. But his back gold is there. That is reliably safe at the back of his base. HERA's map, not much better, actually. He's got back wood. Back wood. Well, he has got back wood. He's got back berries as well. The thing is, like, he's got a lot more wood sort of between him and Slam. So he could quite easily sort of block this off with houses and get a really sort of early warning system in a way. Like, he can use that as for vision, see where Slam is and when he's pushing out. And he basically knows that then Slam has to go through this choke point and come into the front. Basically, overall, HERA's map is a lot more sort of defendable with all these extra wood lines. But his gold is still forward, his stone is still forward, so is his second gold. His third gold is also quite far away. So even though his base is a little bit more defendable with the wood lines, his resource placement is still kind of awkward. HERA also hasn't... he has. Okay, I thought maybe he'd not scouted that boar there. The boar sort of in this little... I don't know, this little enclave on this wood line. But he will find it and get that. And he's even bringing a sheep over to make sure that, of course, that boar gets blocked on the way home. This is the 5th game in a row now that HERA has taken a cavalry civ. He's really enjoying the scout play. It plays well to his strong early game micro. And his army control, this whole series has been fantastic. But look at the chat. You guys are not giving up hope on our boy Slam with 64%. 64% of you went for Slam with 14,800 points in the betting pool. Oh boy, you guys are really favoring the Slavs here, and I do think the Slavs are going to be a fantastic civ for this match. Obviously, the Huns are strong. Obviously, the Indians are strong. You know, and if anything, having a civ with Cavalry Archer is probably the best civ to sort of have against the Slavs in this situation. Having a civ with Camels, however, is probably better, but, you know, Cavalry Archers will do just fine. That's absolutely what HERA will do this game. Unless he just doesn't care, like last game, and makes Knights anyway because he's HERA and he can do whatever the hell he likes, apparently. We'll see if Slam can put him in his place. So that Slavic farming is really going to, in your guys' opinion, turn the tide of this and help Slam to bring this series back. Or you're all voting on Slam or betting on Slam because you really just want the guy to win. You don't want to believe that he will let the series go 5-0. Honestly, I hope it doesn't. I just want to see more games. I don't want it to be over so soon. Slam, though, off to a good start. He's got the deer. He's got 4 sheep left. He's not built a single farm yet, so he'll be able to get horse collar before he seeds that down. And HERA, on the other hand, doing the same also, grabbing the extra deer, grabbing the boar now, and again, should be able to get horse collar up before. But he is a bit later sending out villagers to that lumber camp. And he's a bit later on his barracks as well. So I do think Slam's off to a good start. We'll see if he can convert that into any villager kills, if he can do some early damage with that, or if he can just get ahead economically and militarily to work an advantage that way. 3-second feudal lead. Oh yeah, Fonsky. That's a big lead right there. That's game changing. Stable coming up, of course, for Slam. And for HERA, oh, is it going to be a stable? No, it's not, because he doesn't have the wood for it. Ouch. He got delayed. Hard. Slam now going to find that stable, and maybe he'll harass a villager. It's not off the table. Nah, he's going to go back. But, I mean, I said it, right? I said he's moving out to wood. Second lumber camp's a bit late. Didn't have the wood for the stable. So Slam now going to be ahead with that first scout production a little bit. And not too worried, I think, by the scout in the back of his base. Not worried enough to build a spearman, at least. He knows that the stable from HERA here was delayed a bit with his own scouting information that he had. But, yeah, we saw horse collar coming in, I think. At least horse collar's coming in for HERA right now, right as he seeds his first farm. So all of his farms are going to benefit from the additional food, making sure, of course, to maximize the efficiency of his villagers here and his economy here. But even though HERA had the later stable, he's going to be the first to push out, claiming the hill in the middle of the map. Actually, I just want to point out, I love this map. I love it. There's this really big hill that goes all the way through the middle. First engagement, though, good for Slam. Gets off some hits for free, and HERA's going to back up to the hill. Slam's not going to get debated by that. But look at this hill. It goes all the way, like cuts the map in half. It's awesome. What a great map. If only the wood lines were a bit more balanced. They really aren't good. But Slam's wood lines are very, very awkward, but at least this one will last him for some time, at least long enough to get a TC somewhere else. I mean, he's going to have to secure wood out back here or something. Like, his woods are just awful. He has got a few spearmen at home now as well, though. That should be enough to ward off HERA as he comes in with his own scouts and finds more spearmen as well. So far, no damage done to Slam's scouts. HERA's scouts, one of them taking just a little bit of damage, but overall it's very even at the moment. HERA's trying to sort of loop around the back, bait the spearman. Quick house there to sort of mess with the pathing. These players really know every trick in the book, and I mean, they're so quick as well. Here, Slam there just throwing down that house, messed up the pathing enough that HERA couldn't slip behind and get to the wood line. So clutch. But there you go, heading him off, and Slam's going to get some more free damage. He's happy with this. The health pool on his scouts looking very good at the moment. Now, he won't be able to necessarily catch these guys. HERA won't also even turn on the hill here because of the spearmen in close succession. But it looks like, yeah, HERA's going to move out toward the gold. And I don't know if he's just going to do bloodlines here. If he sends a third vill out, yeah, it looks like he'll send more. But here we go. This could be the fight here. Slam needs to kill that spearman quickly. It's 12 military for HERA versus the 10 of Slam. And Slam's going to try and threaten that gold mine. The spearman, though, again, the spearman for HERA, always keeping that spearman advantage. And that's the issue with this kind of situation, right? You push out, you've got the advantage, and then your opponent has the defender's advantage, and so immediately has the spearman on in their favor, and then they just sort of clean you up because you can't fight into the spearman. However, Bloodline's coming in for Slam. So while HERA makes the switch into archers and neglects Bloodlines for now, Slam's going to go for the tech. And he might turn around and fight this. There are a lot of spearmen here, though. If you could bring an extra spearman over, that would be pretty hype. In fact, he's going to bring 2 more spearmen over. So Slam can take this fight now. He's moved the scouts out of the way. So this is important. He's just done Bloodlines, but he's moved the scouts out of the way. He doesn't want HERA to see the Bloodlines tech just yet while he wars up the left side. And now he's going to try either to raid or to sort of take a great fight against HERA here. If he takes out the spearman, then he could absolutely try and take out these scouts. But he knows that HERA's at his base, and he's going to go straight to that gold mine. And this is going to be a gold mine. Slam is going to find a lot of villagers here. Well, I say a lot of villagers, maybe 2 or 3. But he's also maybe going to catch out some of the archers that are coming as well. The first villager's going to go... Oh, what? He let it go back? Okay. So 2 villagers. And the third villager, in my opinion, could have died. I think it did die, in fact. So we got 3 villagers there. And Wheelbarrow is about to complete for Slam as well. Meanwhile, HERA, caught out a little bit by that engagement, does send his army home, and then gets caught by the TC, I believe, here. So ends up losing his spearman advantage as well. This is great for Slam. He's got a huge advantage now. There's no bloodlines on HERA's scouts. Slam has 8 scouts with bloodlines, and he's already ahead with the wheelbarrow upgrade, so his food is going to start really pulling into surplus. He's even going for a market. He's not going to get caught out this time. He's going to make sure that Castle Age upgrade comes in as fast as possible. He's going to find another villager kill as well. And there you go. This is good for Slam. And those 4 archers with fletching, not really much of a threat to Slam here at all. He's not too bothered by them. They'll do a little bit of chip damage if they actually manage to hit their shots, which they won't when the scouts are running like this and the archers are firing like this. But Slam's happy to take the fight, getting out of range of the spearmen, trying to micro away from them at all costs, and getting more scout kills over here. That's the Castle Age as well. He used the market here. He didn't even sell his stone. He just bought some food, probably sold a little bit of wood. Yeah, he sold some wood, bought some food, used his extra gold, and the Castle Age is coming in very quickly for Slam off the back of these scouts. And now we're seeing the second stable, so it's going to be double stable knights into HERA's archers. And HERA now, adding his third range, he's going to be going castle in just a second as well then. Going into Cav archers, but now it's like the shoe is on the other foot, right? Like last game, HERA was in Slam's place, and now it's up to Slam to convert this into a victory. It's lined up. He just needs to knock it down. He's really controlling these scouts well. 7 scouts still alive. And in fact, is that... Yeah, that's 7 scouts. I can count. And wow, forcing HERA to make so many spearmen as well. Which, to be honest, is kind of okay for HERA, because obviously Slam's going into knights anyway. So having a lot of spearmen now is probably going to work out when the knights eventually do come over. But there's actually 8 scouts. He's linked up with the others, and he's finding more stuff to kill. So Slam is in a great position. 16 kills to 6 deaths. And boy, oh boy, the slabs really are just that good, eh? It was enough for you guys to bet so heavily on Slam. And it looks like you guys might have had a good call on this one, as the Siege Workshop comes up, 2 stables, and oh, Slam is not messing around. Oh, he is not messing around. He wants to get that cheaper siege. He wants to get a mangonel out here and immediately just flatten any crossbows, immediately get some big juicy shots onto cavalry archers that HERA might end up producing. And man, he's getting so much value out of these scouts. He's going to find another villager. Oh, okay. That was close. I thought he'd go for it, but HERA now Castle Age, crossbow coming in. Cavalry archers will soon follow. And wow, HERA's got a lot of wood. He needs to get some TCs up quickly. Spend that wood down. Oh, yeah. That's a farm kill. Nope, not going to happen. I think Slam's going for those farms. He's just being a nuisance. He's keeping HERA busy. Maybe we'll see University, actually. Yeah. Market, GC. I really thought maybe he'd go from a University, get the ballistics tech quickly. There's the knights. Already, the knights are in the back. He's already got +2 defense. Oh, he's going to find some damage here. Slam disrupting that wood line, forcing so many villagers to go idle. And okay, yeah, he'll lose some scouts. Scouts are losing their value now anyway. And the knight. One knight goes down. The other one sort of gets out scot-free. But in the Siege Workshop, it's not a mangonel. It's a Scorpio. Okay. Okay, Slam's like, all right, I can't go all in. I'm gonna reel this back a little bit. I'm gonna let off a little bit. He's throwing down the TCs. Now the Scorpion choice here from Slam is an interesting one. Scorpions are okay actually against the crossbows, and they're not that mashed up yet. And with the Spearmen in here, it's not too bad. There's certainly no pikemen yet from HERA, and so a couple of Scorps could be quite effective actually. 3 Scorpions being queued. I'm liking this Slam. Slam's like reformed here. I thought HERA was supposed to be the reformed one. Maybe he already is reformed, but Slam has got a new lease on life in this game. Here we go. The Knight's going to come and raid in the back here. HERA already has bloodlines, +2 defense, attack, and +1 defense though. So the Knights here will do minimal damage. They'll maybe find a couple of kills, but Slam's got to be careful not to throw too much army away. I feel like getting behind in military count can be really deadly in this sort of situation where there aren't any walls. But nice Scorpion shots there. Stacking up the damage with that pass-through damage. It's minor damage, but 3 or 4 Scorpion hits and suddenly half your army's dead. It's enough to zone these guys out at least as well. So Slam now ahead by 11 villagers. Solid economy lead. And zoning these guys far, far away while the cavalry archers come forward. Now, Scorpions against cavalry archers, that's not something you see too often, is it? But they shouldn't be too bad. 12 damage, 1 pierce on it. That's 11 damage per shot, and pass-through damage as well. It's not too bad. It's not too bad. But still, not enough to necessarily win the game for Slam here. Yet. Not yet. Oh, here we go. I really like the Scorpions, man. I love them. I love them. I'm just expecting a Siege Workshop from HERA in a minute, though, and like, or some Knights or something. Like, he'll find something to deal with these. Oh, this is a great catch for Slam on the right side. He's got +2 defense. He's caught out this kind of weak army. It is very weak. Those spearmen unupgraded, of course, and the crossbows there in smaller numbers. That was a great engagement for Slam, and now he's just got to worry about the cav archers, which that's worth worrying about. But man, the Scorpion's missing so much. When are those Scorpions gonna hit? There you go. They hit a few shots. And they do considerable damage, but don't really kill too much. It's really just kind of like weakening on lowering the overall health pool. But there you go. Here adding some knights now. He really wants to snipe that siege. He can't let those scorpions go uncontested. Well, Slam goes into skirms. Okay. Okay, Slam. Skirmishes and scorpions. And knights. A little bit of everything from Slam here. Worth noting, the 3 TCs are up and running quite nicely for him. HERA, on the other hand, only 2 TCs. He's very committed to this cavalry archer production here. And Slam so far is very committed to protecting those scorpions. Even going for a 4 TC on the front. The power of the Slavs. So much military production. So much economy production. And a 4 TC to boot. Man, when I say to boot, it sounds like I'm impersonating a Canadian. Which might be what I'm doing here. A monastery as well. Maybe he's thinking, hey, I'll convert some of those knights. Let me. I think Ham's like Slam is like one of everything, please. I'll have one of each. I'll have some monks. I'll have some knights, some scorpions, some skirmishers. Why not? It's good. He's got all of his bases covered in theory, and he'll get that TC up as well. There's no way HERA's stopping that. Keeping as many of those scorpions alive as possible. They could be a real thorn in HERA's side, actually. Like I say, they don't do much like sort of... It's like a mangonel. One mangonel, massive damage from one hit. But if they chip away at you, they will really lower your overall health. And like the damage is being done. It's just not as impressive as a mangonel. But it's still there. And Slam economically now, 15 villages ahead. And that should start to pull further ahead as well as HERA stays on 2 TCs. This doesn't bode well for HERA if he's not able to do damage now. He needs to do, like, not necessarily a killing blow in the Castle Age, but he needs to do significant damage in the Castle Age here, I think. Slam, though, is making a push. And he's going to force HERA to play on his terms. This does, however, leave his scorpions undefended. Looks like HERA might want to take advantage of that. But, oh, Slam running straight into the front of HERA's army. This will be an engagement now. The knights at the back from HERA trying to take down the scorpions. The scorpions doing quite a bit of damage to the left-hand side. They are, however, getting taken out by the knights in due course. These skirmishers able to fire upon the cav archers. But Slam really needs to bring those cavalry archers down. He lost quite a lot of scorpions there, actually. I think like 5 scorpions going down. And the 6th one and 7th one will survive. Overall, I'd say that was quite a good fight for HERA. He kept most of his cavalry archers alive. The scorpions got picked off. And, in fact, did he keep all of the cavalry archers alive? I think only 1 or 2 died on the south side. But the ones that went to the north got away. And it looks like HERA here... Most importantly, the most important thing about that fight is he keeps his mass of cavalry archers alive to fight another day, while taking the scorpions out of the picture so that he can actually engage this sort of head-on. At the very least, though, HERA is very committed now to producing as much as he possibly can. 2 stables, 4 archery ranges, a monastery for monks as well. Imperial Age time. What Imperial Age time? HERA's not going imp for a while at this rate. Though he might... Nah, I don't know. I think if Slam gets imp before HERA is able to click up, HERA will end up probably dedicating a lot more resources to military production. He's still dedicating most of it to military production now, instead of growing his economy further. That shows in the village account, of course. But Slam going up to imp now. We're going to see Cavalier very soon. And Slavs don't have the best skirmishers in the world, but he can definitely upgrade his army and start to add more military production buildings, start switching into higher military production as well. More siege, perhaps. Leather archer armor. He really wants those skirms, doesn't he? And HERA coming to the back. Trying to raid. Of course, Slam has the TC here, but his wood line is very exposed. He might be... If HERA just went north, like, he doesn't have the info, right? Like, that's so lucky for Slam, because if HERA went north, he would kill a lot of villagers. There's no way that there's only 15 villagers here. Only 15 can fit in the TC. That could have been very bad for HERA. Slam going to catch him out, though. Building an outpost now here just to keep an eye on that situation. while massing up in the middle of the map still. There we go. Imperial Age is in. Cavalier is coming in immediately. +4 defense is coming through. And let's see what else. I mean, at the moment, there's not a lot else he can upgrade, actually. It's really just going to be the Cavalier, and he needs to make the play now. He needs to make the push now. More stables coming up for more Cavalier production. The skirmishers, just as a sort of aside, I guess. And here we go. Slam taking the fight. A lot of HERA's army out of position here. The knight-on-knight action. HERA has to win this fight now. He has to win this. If he doesn't win this, then the game may as well be over. HERA is not going Imperial at this point. Cavalier coming in, and Slam still has about 20 knights left with the skirmishers closing from the back. This could be the win for Slam right here. He just needs to clean up the cavalry archers, and he might just do that. The Cavalier upgrade isn't in, though, but the +4 defense is, and there's the GG from HERA. The exit of these cavalry archers blocked by the skirmishers. He would have lost that mass there. And, of course, his knights getting cleaned up as well after that initial engagement. Nice attempt by HERA to break Slam there by pushing out before the upgrades came through, but Slam comes through himself, getting the victory to prevent the sweep. He does get a point on the board in game number 5, and he will fight another day. He will go on. Well played to Slam. It's an insane civ. Slavs are just so good. That farm bonus, man. Let's take a quick look at the achievements before we go into the next game, and have a quick look here at the stats. Just waiting for the scene to change so I can show you the stats. Whoever's in the office. Maybe not. Okay, never mind. We will we'll not look at the note. We will look at the stats. But there we go. There we go. All right. So Slam with most units killed there by quite a way, and that's kind of expected in that last fight. HERA lost most of his army, but just look at the difference in resources. So similar on gold, it's kind of similar on stone, but just that additional 5,000 food, the additional 3,000 wood, you can't really contend with that. So well played to Slam. He gets his point on the board, but now both players have used the Slavs. Both players have used Indians. We may be seeing Huns here from Slam. He still has that in his pool. He's not played Huns yet. And HERA is starting to run out of pure cavalry civs. Maybe we'll see the Berbers from HERA here, or the Malians. Something along those lines. If anything, more likely to be the Berbers, right? But yeah, the Slavs are just so strong. And unlucky to those of you that bet on HERA, hoping that he'd get the 5-0. 100 points will be credited to you if you lost your points. You will still be able to bet. The betting will open soon, and the betting will open once the game starts. As I say, the winner of the betting will get a Steam game of their choice up to the value of $40. So check your points by typing !points. The bot will whisper you to tell you how many you have, and you can bet those points once the game starts. Everyone in the chat has just been given 100 more points. And Big Makesel is in second, apparently. There is also a leaderboard. If you go to our website, the link is in the chat right now. One of the guys in the office will post the link. You can go to our website and read how it works. You can also see the leaderboard there as well. But yeah, Huns is very cutthroat with no walls, but we are playing No Walls Arabia, so it doesn't matter if there's no walls. It's going to be no walls anyway. And we're going into the next game, so get ready to place your bets, please. Here we are in game number 6. Slam holding on by a thread. And it looks like we're going to see something completely different from HERA here. HERA spawning down to the south of the map in the blue as the Aztecs. Slam up to the north in the red. He's taken the Magyars. How could I forget the Magyars? I was like, yeah, maybe we'll see the Berbers here. Good cavalry civ. Well, the Magyars, they're also a very good cavalry civ. This will be interesting. Like, the Aztecs are incredibly strong. And they can really screw you up. I think last week we saw MBL playing Aztecs against Dugao, and he played a fantastic game. He went for sort of like three barracks, feudal age eagle warrior production, and then got castle and upgraded them to well, upgraded the Eagle Warriors from Eagle Scouts, sorry, and then just came in from the flank, and Dugao wasn't walled, and it was game over. So you got to be very careful. You got to watch out for those Eagles. You've also got to watch out for that early aggression, of course. But the Magias, man, the Magias, fantastic. Scout Civ, starting with that extra +1 attack, and being able to kill villagers that much more effectively from the word go. So the ball should be in HERA's court from the start of the game if he goes for the men-at-arms play or if he goes for some kind of militia drush. Men-at-arms probably more common these days, so we'll probably expect to see that. And Slam likely to be forced to react to that. Thing is, we don't know how well HERA is going to perform in that setting because every game so far, HERA has played standard scout build. This time around, he's going to have to switch things up and go for some kind of early aggression. So we will see how HERA approaches this. It looks like you guys are favoring Slam so far. I don't know if that's because you're looking at the maps, and I can tell you for a fact that HERA's map is disgusting. It's a good job that he is going to be playing aggressively here because his gold is kind of exposed. His wood line is very exposed. There's no way he can really wall that in at all. And if he loses access to this wood line, he doesn't have another wood line close by. He'll have to go really far away to the north here. His stone far away to the front, his gold far away as well. Even his second gold is exposed to the back. And then, of course, Slam, his map a little bit better. He's got the back wood line. He's got a wood line to the front of his base, which kind of covers things off. His gold is still very exposed, though. But he's not really going to need gold early on if he's going for scouts anyway. And at that point, he can tower the gold or he can try and build in towards it. HERA, though, like I say, the ball should be in his court. He should be going for the early aggression. And it looks like the stream chat is backing Slam on this one. 59% in favor of Slam. 41% for HERA. So I don't know if that's because you guys are looking at the maps and the civs, or if you're just backing your favorite player. Could be either. Could be any. But it's fantastic, isn't it? I love the betting element to this. I love the, that you guys can take part in this and interact with this. It's cool. 20,000 points in the fund. And bets are, of course, now closed. So good luck to everyone, and we'll see how this game plays out. So Slam here, luring his second ball right now, and the second ball for HERA, much later by comparison. But HERA also with 4 villagers on the wood compared to the 3 of Slam. So this looks like a very standard opening for both players. HERA opting for the 4 villas on wood, meaning that we'll probably see a barracks very soon, and we'll see the militia into man-at-arms. Slam with just the 3 looks to be going straight into scouts, and he's taken the time to push the deer nicely as well. He's even building far out to the front here, which is his attempt, I guess, at securing the gold as best he can. If he can close off the left side and build out a little bit to the right, then he can maybe come through here and wall that off as well to prevent HERA getting straight in. HERA can always come around the right side. I mean, this map is not particularly wallable for either player, but I kind of like Slam's map a little bit more just because of the wood line. I think that's going to be the main point of contention here. But still, HERA has got his... that Slam has got his barracks up. In fact, interestingly, HERA hasn't even started building his barracks yet. He's going up to the feudal age now. Where is the barracks? Slam is already up to the feudal age, and HERA just starting his barracks production now. It's a little bit of a slower start for HERA, and of course he's going to be making the men at arms, I imagine. However, Slam's nice fast feudal time with 19 villagers, sacrificing a couple of villas here in favor of going up a little bit faster, should set him up for in good stead. I kind of assumed here that HERA would have the advantage in the early game, thanks to this early military production, but it's not going to be much earlier, and by the time he's got the man-at-arms upgrade, Slam should already have his stable up and a couple of scouts out, so it's not going to be super early aggression, and even here, this is good for Slam. This is a good catch. He's going to be able to kill the Eagle Scout now, thanks to the extra damage on the Scout. 3+3, remember, because the Magias get that extra +1. Slam closing off the front of his base with the stable, and HERA going to move out across the map now with these militia. Of course, immediately scouted by Slam. He's going to make sure to keep a close eye on those guys. And he's, like I say, going to have that first scout coming out before the men-at-arms upgrade is actually completed here for HERA. So it's a pretty good start for Slam. Obviously, killing the scout is also really valuable for Slam as well. And if he can just get, or just avoid a conflict until he has a few more scouts up, then that should be good. Obviously, HERA can try and force a fight. He can try and go to the wood line at the back. But I'm not sure what he's scouted, actually. If we look at HERA's scouting information, yeah, he did lose his scout at the front here, so he knows where the gold is. But he has no idea about the wood lines. He has no idea about the berries. In fact, if he did know, he might come around the left-hand side rather than trying to come around the right, which is where he's going right now. So I guess the lack of scouting information here costing HERA just a little bit in this match so far. And look at that. Both players going for Town Watch now because their maps are so open. They really want that vision. And Town Watch is a valuable tech anyway. But here we go. HERA coming in at the back. He's going to find the wood line. Slam is open. And he's going to try and wall it up quickly. He does. Very quick reactions from Slam there. And now going to send the scouts over. It looks like he wants to clean this up with the scouts. And interestingly, HERA actually here not trading any units. He's not doing anything. He's got nothing right now. He's not following this up with villagers to drop a tower. All that's going to happen here is he's going to lose these men-at-arms. Now, he does kill a scout, I believe. And if Slam micros this scout back, he definitely doesn't risk losing any scouts, but he will keep them all alive anyway. That's 4 kills to 1 death. So I guess he did lose 1 scout in the end, but that's really not too bad for Slam at all. And it's now 6 military versus 2. The 2 military, by the way, going to be these 2 spearmen on the left side protecting these deer. HERA, no archery range to follow this up. And it looks like we've got a little pause. So one of the players has just paused the game. This will resume as soon as they resume. But Slam off to a very good start. As you can see there, the Civ picks so far. We've got Game 6 here, the Magyars and the Aztecs. Now, Slam, he could have taken the Huns here. He also could have taken the Berbers, but Magyars, very strong. The only real issue with the Magyars is that they're lacking like an eco bonus, right? Which is why the Berbers with their slightly faster moving vills, with the cheapest stable, the Huns saving wood on every single house, like they might be preferred. But Slam going for the Magyars here anyway. I mean, they're a strong Civ regardless for scout rushing, just thanks to that +1 attack. You don't need to build the blacksmith to get it. But there you go. We've got the unpause now. Think HERA there just taking a little pause for a moment. But maybe a pause to reflect and think about what to do now as he tries to train Eagle Scouts, but unfortunately they train in like 49 seconds. They take a long time. Fortunately, as the Aztecs, they do train a little faster, but 49 seconds is 49 seconds, and that's a long time when it comes to training units in the feudal age. Most units train in 30 to 35 seconds in the feudal age from the archery range in the stable. But the second barracks is coming up, and I guess HERA just needs to stall for time at this point so that he can get those Eagle Scouts out. Now, this is not bad necessarily. The annoying part is that he's pushed off the deer, and he might end up getting pushed off the gold. And if he's pushed off the gold, he certainly can't afford to make more Eagle Scouts. He is, however, going to fight for this here. He's bringing the Eagles out to deal with the skirms, and of course the Spearmen are in the mix as well to try and take down the Scout Cavalry. That's not too bad for HERA, but once those Spearmen die, things start to get a little bit dicey as the Scouts here will start to chase those Eagle Scouts away. More Spearmen perhaps needed, and that's exactly what he's training from the second barracks. 1 barracks for Eagle Scouts, 1 barracks for Spearmen, and a blacksmith now coming up as well. HERA's going to need that 3rd barracks at some point, but he cannot afford it yet, and he's favoring the blacksmith to get upgrades at this point. Of course, the Magyar Scout with that +1 attack as well favored quite nicely here against the Eagle Scouts, and a nice hill bonus at the back if you could take it. But unfortunately, these 2 Spearmen are going to push Slam away for now. But more importantly, HERA's pushed off the gold, and he's going to have to move to the back gold. He's lucky he's got that back gold, because if this was his only accessible gold, he'd be pretty boned trying to go for an Eagle Warrior strat, right? But at the moment, the second barracks is idling. He does need to get that working again, while meanwhile he's going for the +1 defense on his units. Of course, trying to beef himself up a little bit against those skirmishers. At the moment, they don't have fletching, but with the +1 defense on the spears, they're not going to take quite as much damage. Of course, the Skirm still has bonus damage, which goes through armor, but it's not too bad to get that +1 defense here, especially with so many scouts coming through. It's mostly scouts from Slam at this point, with the occasional Skirm mixed in. But with map control firmly in Slam's favor, he is able to get on this gold here. We might still see a tower required for this gold, but that's only if things swing back and if HERA sort of goes for some kind of counter-attack. But with Slam's presence on the left side of his base, I don't think a counter-attack is likely for some time. And so Slam can safely take his gold, and that's important for Slam since that is his only gold, unlike HERA, who can actually move to the gold at the back. And I guess HERA's doing quite well here. He's avoiding taking a fight for a while, and he's got plenty of catch on this TC to get the villagers inside before these military units from Slam can run in and do any damage. So they're just kind of posturing around. Slam, though, is waiting for bloodlines, and once that's done, he might feel confident enough to take the fight. I think he really needs to get fletching, though, just for the range, if anything, to pick off those spearmen at the back while trying to avoid the scouts in front, the Eagle scouts. But here we go. This is good for Slam. This is perfect. Bloodline's popping in right now. The spearmen at the back out of position, and Slam just comes in and takes a couple of Eagle scouts down. Loses basically nothing for it. And we'll now back off to the hill at the front while I assume adding in more skirmishers. It will be a second stable, though, so he's going to keep on the production of the scouts. He's feeling confident enough with that at the very least he'll force HERA to make a lot more spears. But HERA doesn't want to be making spears, of course. HERA wants to be making eagles. And there we go. The scouts slipping through the back lines. Wow, HERA's out of position. There's no way to protect this economy. This is huge. Slam could kill 5 or 6 villagers back here before HERA can even respond. He just completely caught out of position. The spearmen are fighting the skirmishers. The scouts at the back. Look how low these villagers are. Oh my goodness, Slam. That is absolutely huge. And at the same time, transitioning up to the castle age. Slam right now will lose most of his army for that. But boy, oh boy, was that worth it. Look at that villager count. It's a 7 villager difference. And Slam is 30% of the way up to the castle age right there. Oh my goodness. HERA needs to counterattack fast right now. He's still... Oh my goodness, Slam even finds another villager on the farms. He threw his whole army away for that. And all I can say is that has to be calculated. The castle age is coming in. He knows that by the time Slam or HERA is able to counterattack, that castle age upgrade should be done, and the night production can begin for Slam. He's got enough wood. He's preparing, I think, for a second and probably a third TC quite soon, but I definitely expect to see a lot of night production coming in here. And Slam sacrificed so much for that, and maybe, just maybe, he'll find a low HP villager in here. There it is. There it is. He's going to get it. Oh, there you go. He finds another villager before losing his final scout. I imagine he'll lose that scout eventually. And wow, HERA's not even got the nerve now to counterattack. He's like, nah, I'm not going to do it. I'm just going to take that loss on the chin, wait for Castle Age, and get Eagle Warrior. That's just such a win for Slam. HERA absolutely needed to come forward. Slam has no army at this point in the game, but I think HERA's just kind of taken aback by that engagement and just didn't know what to do next. So he's waiting for his own Castle Age. He maybe thought he'd be faster to get up or something. But no, Slam beats him to the Castle Age. The night production is going. And now HERA's opportunity to raid that gold is sort of slowing up. Wow, forward siege workshop from Slam. Okay. Now I think that's a little bit ballsy when you've got no military on the map. I'm not sure what his thought process there was. I'm expecting a second TC at some point, but he's opting for the siege workshop first. Perhaps after last game, we're going to see Scorpions again. Full infantry for HERA. Chainmail armor coming in. Eagle Warrior being upgraded right now. Get the Scorpions out. The worry for me here is that Slam let off his foot from military production. He let off the gas a little bit. And HERA getting walled in out here. We'll be able to, Slam, sorry, will be able to stall him for just a little bit. And that's all Slam needs to do. He just needs to stall. Because if he can get enough Knights out, then he absolutely will win this fight. Knights are pound for pound better than Eagle Warriors, even if they do have an attack bonus against them. And now the Scorpion production has begun. So with Scorpions coming in, I think it's unlikely we'll see the second TC anytime soon, unless he sells food, buys some wood. But yeah, he's going to keep making Scorps, and he's going to try and take this fight. The Scorpions here, I'm excited to see how effective they'll be. Usually they're just disappointing, as always. But HERA now rushing across the map. It's 3 barracks production, 1 TC for HERA. He's kind of all in on this. And he has to win. But the Knights are strong. They've got kind of a hill advantage here at the back. And he's kind of taking a good fight here. I think HERA might end up cleaning up all these Knights, actually. And that's costly for Slam. He can't afford to lose his Knight numbers. But I guess at the same time, he can't afford HERA to get up to masses of Eagle Warriors either. But where are the Scorpions at? He's got 1 Scorpion out, as Slam now tries to wall himself in. And this is why the Aztecs are so scary. This is why they're absolutely terrifying, because even after losing so many villagers, HERA can turn around and do this. The problem is, he's still behind by 11 villagers, and if Slam can hold on and defend and not lose too many villagers, then he's going to come out on top. Unfortunately, the raiding has begun. It's like HERA's just hit Imp, and he's just doing Elite Eagle and raiding everything. Only he's not. He's just hit Castle Age, and the raiding damage is coming in a lot earlier than we might normally expect. And that's, of course, a product of No Walls mod. That is, of course, the product of Slam being wide open to raiding. In a normal game, you'd probably want to wall this off, but hey, tough luck, you can't. We're playing with no walls. So, a couple more Scorps coming out. They're okay, but 5 pierce armor, the Scorps doing 12 damage, 7 damage. It's not all that much. When you consider the Knights, I guess really you're just hoping that they stack up and you can get the pass-through damage. But HERA is looking scary right now. And by scary, I mean terrifying. He's on the hill. He's got 38 military. He's got some spearmen mixed in from the feudal age. And he is rolling in with the Eagles. Slam only has 1 TC. He can only protect 15 villagers with the town center before there's no room left at the inn. And Slam can absolutely not afford to lose his army. But this is good. The Eagle Warriors getting all bunched up there and taking a nice juicy shot from those Scorpions. But Slam right now absolutely needs to win this fight. He cannot afford to fall foul here, and he's outnumbered 2-1. But he does have the stronger units. Can the Scorpions swing the tide of this battle, or will Slam get overwhelmed on this hill? Oh, he's got to go back. There's just too many Eagle Warriors in the mix. It's still only 1 TC each. Slam absolutely needs to get a second TC up, and there it is on the right-hand side. If anything, just for villager protection at this point. He needs to hold on. He absolutely cannot afford to lose out here. He's got the villager advantage. He just has to hold on. Absolutely. Robo saying forward siege instead of TCs was a mistake. That siege workshop, it's not really been used for much. A couple of Scorpions which have had minimal effect, to be honest. And the big concern here, the big problem here, is that HERA is denying 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, nearly 10 farms being denied. That's 600 wood worth of investment that Slam can not only not gather from, but will have to rebuild somewhere else. And HERA now doing arson as well. But Slam taking a leaf out of HERA's book from earlier, maybe trying to cut off the reinforcements. He does not want to give anything away, but he does give HERA a free knight. Maybe a second free knight as well. RNGesus, not on HERA's side there. That monk will get taken out before a conversion can come through. But I think this is a good play from Slam. He needs to try and force HERA back, but HERA's not falling for that trick. He's not falling for that old trick. HERA continuing to keep his aggression going strong. Maybe at this point, he's researched arson. He's just going to run in and take the TC. This could be so bad. The Eagles have landed for HERA. And like the first man on the moon, HERA's going to take his first step into Slam's base and take down this TC. Oh my god, it's going to die. I don't think Slam can hold on here. He's not got enough knights to defend this. The TC is at half health and there's like no defense. The villagers are going to have to run. Oh my goodness. He doesn't have the stone to defend either. He's like, why isn't it repairing? Why isn't it repairing? You need stone, Slam. You need stone. It doesn't cost stone, but you need stone for some explicable reason. And I think what Slam might need to do, there you go, he's bought some stone. What you might need to see here, or what we might need to see here, is Slam needs to come in from behind. He needs to fight with all of his knights under the TC in one place. He needs some Scorpions back here. Anything. HERA now adding in some pikes. He couldn't get the TC snipe. Oh, this could be good. This could be sweet. Slam here trying to chase down those Eagles. And wow, HERA still on 1 TC. I'm waiting for that second TC, but he's all in on this right now. 54 military versus 23. That's over double now at this point. But HERA is up against 3 TCs. As I say, Slam has to hold on. And oh my goodness, he's taking a fight at the back. He's trying to cool those numbers a little bit. He's trying to turn this back in his favor. And he will get a lot of Eagle Warrior kills there. He will eventually lose that fight, though, thanks to the conversions. Was that worth it? 17 military versus 44 now. It's hard to say. Probably not at this rate. But Slam does have 3 TCs. It's eco versus military right now. And as I say, Slam has to hold. He has to hold. At the moment, I have to say, though, he is holding. He's not lost a TC yet. He's lost a few houses and some farms, but they are replaceable. Villages are also replaceable, but they're not expendable, unlike the houses and the farms. But, man, HERA here, I love this. I'm really enjoying this game. He's everywhere. But he's not at the back here. Slam is still building that eco up. 8 villagers, though. It's only an 8 villager lead. But look at the military count. It's just going up and up and up towards HERA's side. And Slam has to do something about this. Oh boy, I keep calling him Ham. I need to stop with that. We've got more Scorpions coming out, though. I like the Scorpions. I just don't know how effective they're going to be. Because they're always a bit underwhelming, in my opinion. Another stable, though. This is good. This means that Slam is confident he'll have enough resource income for more night production here. And if Slam can get through this, if Slam can actually hold on now, then he stands to win this game. It all comes down to this engagement. And the first thing that's going to happen is it's all going to go wrong. Because the Knights get on top of the Scorpions immediately. And here come the Eagles at the back of the base. They've got the hill advantage. Slam does not want to push into them. And this is unfortunate. He's kind of surrounded by hills on both sides. Trying to keep those Scorpions alive. But the converted Knights doing the damage to them here. It's kind of a scary prospect. There's even a lot of pikes coming in now as well, and Slam's going to see that. Oh, he gets some shots onto the monks, though, but here comes HERA. He's coming down the hill. The Scorpions are barely doing anything, and the monks now going to get some conversions as well. This is going to go well for HERA. He's got so many units. Don't call it yet, Slam. Please don't call it yet. It looks like it's over. 71 military versus 18. HERA absolutely all in. And Slam cannot outproduce HERA here. He's overwhelmed. He's out. Oh my goodness. He's outnumbered. And that is the GG. Well played from Slam. HERA, what a game. 1 TC, all in aggression to end the series and close it out 5-1. Oh boy. Where did it all go wrong for Slam? Well, not having walls, that was a big problem for Slam that game. But hey, no walls mod. What are you going to do about it? He suicided his whole army in here. And he did it for a good reason. He killed like 8 villagers. And you'd think that's absolutely worth it. HERA didn't capitalize on that. He didn't push out. He didn't raid the gold. He sat back. He was like, I'm going to take that loss. I can take it. I can handle it. And then once he reaches the Castle Age, he upgrades that Eagle Warrior upgrade, and he does not stop production. 1, 2, 3, 4 barracks. Some monks. Everything just being rallied to the left side of the hill here. And Slam, without any walls to protect himself, without any ability to push uphill. The big mistake, really, I think, was the Siege Workshop. I mean, coming forward, getting caught out by that, building it at home, having very little impact with those Scorpions at all. There was just so little impact from the Scorps. And Slam just couldn't get his eco into a position. He was investing so much into economy, but it never got to the point where he was able to surplus resources to build more knights, and he just fell behind. 71 military versus 14 at one point after that fight there, and well played to HERA. Very well played to HERA. HERA takes the crown as probably the the best player in Canada right now, according to this show match at least. Obviously, no wars is a little bit different, but yeah, I think more knights, less scorpions would have been a stronger approach. Of course, the Aztecs are very strong, but in his position, he definitely had a villager advantage with the kills he managed to get and the advantage he managed to get from the feudal age. But well played to HERA. I hope Slam comes back stronger next time. But don't go anywhere, guys, because we have a highlight reel for you. We're going to be reviewing all of the games in order, bringing you all of the highlights and clips. So stick around. We're going to go through all of the games if you missed any of them, and we're going to show you the highlights. So hopefully that will all be in order, as we have some of that ready to go. But yeah, we will be going over to the sofa area in just a moment, and we'll be reviewing all the games. And then after that, I think we'll be doing some community games as well. So stick around for that, and definitely follow the stream if you haven't already. We'll be doing show matches every Friday, and we'll be starting a regular Friday event for that as well. We'll also reveal the winner of the betting competition in a few moments. So we'll be over to the sofas in just a second here. We'll see you over there to review all of the games. Catch you in a minute.
Maybe he's just setting up the clips.
No, that's me. That's an empty chair.
Okay.
There we go.
Here we are. We're here now.
I was like, what's going on right there? Like,
Yeah.
we're not over there. We're over here.
We can't fit on the same chair anyway.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
So welcome everybody to the review section. We're going to review the games. We're going to sort of go over the highlights. I'm joined by Robo now on the couches.
I've been watching the games, clipping things, making some notes, keeping track of what we need to talk about as we go like a quick 2-minute rundown of each of the games.
Yeah, first of all, though, are you surprised at 5-1 for HERA?
Not really.
Okay.
I'm honestly surprised it wasn't 5-0, considering how well he was playing in the
wow,
first 4
Robo,
games.
rude.
Right. I thought, yeah, HERA was just so on point. Slam's still a bit rusty, I think, getting back into the game after having a break for a couple of months now.
Yeah.
And HERA just showed why he's such a good Arabia player.
Yeah, well, I mean, Slam was away for a little bit. He had a break, and he came back a couple of weeks ago, and I kind of wanted to say, this would be an opportunity for a motivation for Slam
to try to
train hard and get back into it. And I've seen him streaming a lot. He's definitely been training hard, but I don't think he's quite able to get that skill back as quickly.
No, I don't
2
think.
weeks, let's say,
a week or two is not enough time, I think, to get back to the sort of skill level you need when you're playing against someone who is as good as HERA. He is one of the top, 15 players in the world.
I think HERA is extremely underrated. You don't hear enough about HERA, and you can see here, 5-1 victory against Slam. Yes, okay, maybe Slam's a little bit out of shape here, but it's still an impressive scoreline for HERA.
For sure.
And some of the games as well were very dominant from him as well.
Oh, I would say, honestly, all the games that he won, he seemed to be dominating basically from the start of Feudal Age.
Yeah.
Or even earlier in some of them.
I'm just a little bit sad that it's a 5-1.
I know. Well, we're all hyped.
I
We
was
want
like
the
kind of
5-4.
rooting for Slam just a little bit. Just like I don't want to be biased, but I'm still rooting for him because I want to see all 9 games. I'd
of
like
course.
to see that reverse sweep
Well,
drama.
Having met Slam, I want him to win because he's just such a cool, relaxed guy. Like
he's a
he's
great
never
guy.
got a bad word for anyone. He's always just happy.
Oh
and
yeah, he's a great
chill.
guy.
And it always feels a little sad when he doesn't perform as well.
Let's not
as
bring
I'd want
emotion
to.
into this. This is gaming. There's no emotion in
I'll
gaming.
cry once the stream's over. I'll go at the back and
Cry
shed some
yourself to
tears.
sleep tonight. Not now, Robo.
Not on
now
the
is not
stream.
the time. So
Firstly,
we're gonna
cheers to Algernon
Oh,
for the
cool.
3-month resub. Thank you very much. HERA Craigrasm, he says.
Any comments from the chat on that? Was that an expected scoreline for the chat? I think first game, so no previous games played, no like indication of the skill level of the players on the day. The first game, 60% favored HERA.
Yeah.
So I think the general line of thinking there as well is probably like HERA's got the edge.
Yeah. He's always he hasn't really stopped streaming for quite a while.
No.
Right. He's always been playing basically since the start of the year.
Yeah.
He's just been playing constantly. He hasn't really played that much in the ETL stages, but he's still been there practicing and doing stuff. Whereas Slam's very much, he's here for a couple of weeks and then he goes away for a couple of weeks and he's back and he's away, back and away.
Well, Slam, if you're listening, I don't know if you're watching the stream right now. You're probably not, but we'll invite you back. So stay in shape, and we'll have him back at some point.
For sure.
Not next week.
No.
We'll have a different show match next week for you, next Friday at same time, hopefully. I'll look for players. But yes, we'll go through the clips now. We're going to go through the highlights of the
and
games.
we'll also announce the winner of the betting competition.
Yes. Should we do the winner of the betting competition first?
Yeah, we'll do that first. Okay, so
cool.
looking at the scores, we'll start at number 5 this time instead of starting at number 1.
Good job.
Because that annoyed you. AoE for me with 1,206 points was in 5th place. In 4th place, we have R110 with 1,374. In 3rd, Macrocosmos 12 with 1,567. 2nd, Leckerding 2012, 3,464. And in 1st place, Big Maxel, something like that.
Maxel, yeah.
Yeah, with 7,188.
Hey.
That is a huge gap between 1st and 2nd, and
Well
then
done.
another big gap.
He must have got every single one right, and obviously, the earlier you tune into the stream, the more points and the more opportunities you have to bet and win.
Betting on Slam for that 5th game really changed the top of the leaderboard.
Yeah, I bet.
Right.
I bet everyone's like, HERA's
So
got this.
I was sitting on 4th with like 1,100 points.
Yeah.
I bet it all on Slam, and I jumped up to like
Why are you
2,500.
playing? You're not allowed to win.
No, I knew that. I was just having fun, right? And then I went all in on
course,
Slam
yeah.
again on this one, and no. It didn't work.
Not twice in a row,
No.
not today. So, yeah, congratulations, Big Maxel. You win a Steam game of your choice up to $40. Make sure you tune in next Friday. We'll be doing it all over again.
Yep.
So another chance to win, another chance to play, another chance to bet. And the earlier you get to the stream, the more points you get to bet with as well, because we credit the first points before the first match starts.
Yep.
So same time next week. But
Hopefully around this time.
yeah,
on when the
exactly.
players are available.
Around 18 to 19, 17 to 18 GMT will start. And Big Maxel, if you want to message the EscapeAoE account, we'll sort you out with your game of your choice.
Sweet.
But don't go anywhere because we're going to review the games. Robo.
Yeah. Well, if Will can switch us into the first game.
Okay.
Here we go. So we see Slam actually starts out kind of ahead in this game. He gets this really nice scout raid on the wood line there, gets some spears, goes straight to this gold. And of course, you can't really quick wall easily if you're only using houses. And he gets in here, he gets some vills, he causes this huge delay in HERA's production. I think he gets like 4 or 5 vills. He ends up being 6 vills ahead by the end, I think. And then he loses a lot of scouts in the end. But like, I think he did a really good raid here, trying to be aggressive at the start of the game, first game of the series. Doing pretty well, I think.
Yeah, he did get a lot of damage done there. I think it was like 3 or 4 villages quite
Yeah.
early on. And then obviously, I don't think he lost many scouts in that raid either. So
Yeah,
it
he
was
lost-
overall
he
a
lost-
net gain.
He basically traded, I think, like 1 scout per vill, which it's not horrible. It's pretty
okay.
good.
Yeah, it's not bad. But then what happened after that?
And then after that, it sort of goes the other way. HERA gets up to Castle Age a little bit faster than Slam. There's an overchop on his wood line, and
Yeah, the
these
overchop.
knights just pour into the wood line. There's some spearmen you see, they're charging around that house trying to get there in time, but they're just so slow. The knights, they're like, oh, some spears are here. We'll just run over somewhere else. We'll get some farmers. We'll get these guys who are building a town center on this gold.
Oh, that was big actually. Because Slam didn't have the TC up, so the TC ended up getting slowed down and denied as
and
well.
he loses something like 7, 8, 9 vills here
Oh, yeah.
with this fight, and he doesn't really have a huge army to fight back, right?
That was-
Even though HERA's army's dying without trading off army, he's still ahead in military,
it
which
was
is
so
just
expensive. And then obviously by the time Slam managed to counterattack, HERA already had his TCs up in that
Right.
game, so the damage potential wasn't there.
huge. Yeah, well, he's already 10 plus vills ahead basically by now, and then he just starts to boom and get even further and further ahead. And
Yeah,
then
there you
here we
go.
see, look at that swing in the pop count.
Yeah,
for
that was
villages.
a really good time to use the graph. I feel like
Yeah.
that's when the graphs are,
That was
it's
perfect.
It's perfect for it, because I feel like those graphs, they can be a bit confusing sometimes,
Yeah.
or like they're kind of ugly, and
That's
you
true.
don't want to use them too much, and sometimes they don't really show that much either. But being able to use it then just to show like here was
the
Slam's
swing.
raid and his advantage, and then here was Hera's raid,
Right.
and it's like double the
It just-
effectiveness.
it just swings it not back to equal and then further past that.
yeah.
And then we've got one final clip where they're both sort of raiding each other. HERA's just hit Imp. He's just got Halberdiers. Slam's just about to hit Imp. He's doing a raid in the north corner of the map that we're not
Yeah.
going to see just yet, but we'll switch to that in a second.
And I was looking at this because that castle was so important, and obviously he's going to get the castle up, but I think in this fight as well, he was converting knights and not halbs.
Right.
Do you
and
think
normally you would think converting Helbs is a
Yeah.
trash unit. You don't want that. But the knight in the middle of the Helb bunch just gets instantly cut down,
Yeah, it's
basically.
very valuable? And anyway, so the castle goes up, but it's just not enough damage because +4 is done on those knights as well.
Right. And they
so
can just sort of run around, and he gets Cavalier, and he can go trade, hit some bills, pick off whatever he wants to.
yeah, they
and
get into the back, but then at the other side, there was a good raid there.
Right, he's doing well as well. But the problem here is Slam's, 10 to 20 vills behind. He's so much slower getting Cavalier. Yes, he can probably kill this TC and kill all the vills, but he's still getting raided really hard on the front. And 30 seconds after this clip finishes, he basically calls GG because his economy is not working.
Yeah, but
how he wants it
don't you
to.
think in that position though that if like he'd killed all the halbs with
Mhm.
the castle at the front, that
Yep.
TC at the front was working. Slam could have garrisoned his TCs. Yes, he would have lost a lot of vills,
Yep.
but if he'd have taken down the TC in the north, he probably would have killed another 10 vills from HERA. And so at that point, it could have stabilized.
I think, it probably wasn't completely GG at that point, but going forwards, right, he's just so far behind, not just lost vills, but idle time.
Yeah.
Right, because if you idle, 3 TCs worth of vills and a castle,
Yeah.
that's 60, 70 vills not working.
That's true.
And it's a big loss, right?
That's true.
And HERA can just keep pumping units in. He didn't get +4 armor on his knights.
No.
So at some point, those Cavaliers in HERA's base are going to get cleaned up.
Yeah.
And because of all the idle time, he can't easily replace his
That's
army.
true. That's true. Yeah. I mean, it would have been hard. So we're going to go into the. Oh wait, what's this?
We've gone back to the
Oh,
first
this
clip.
is the first clip again. All right. I don't think that was supposed to happen.
That wasn't supposed to happen.
Um,
Well, while we're working this out, cheers to Big Maxwell for subbing.
awesome.
I guess that's a thank you for his free game that we're going to give him.
Yeah,
Thank you very much.
He's giving us subscription money in return for free game.
Yeah.
Good trade. for
I'm
him.
pretty happy with that.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it. Yeah, so that was the first game. Obviously, HERA picks that up quite comfortably
Yep.
with the earlier Imperial Age.
Mhm.
And
a
very,
stronger
very few
economy
of
behind
these
it.
games actually go to Imperial.
No, most of them sort of get finished like late Castle Age, maybe just as people are going up to Imp.
Yeah. And I think that's usually because you've got enough, at that point, you can have enough of a military mass to just roll into your
Rolling
enemy's
the gun.
base. And just,
right, they can't wall you out.
Mm.
Normally, as you go up to Imp, you spend that time walling so your economy is safe, keeping your army at home so it's able to be upgraded. But, you can't do that here.
nope.
You can't just sit at
Yeah.
home and hope to be fine because they're just going to outmass you and run in there.
Absolutely. So game 2, obviously, we're going to jump into that now.
Yep.
and
Mongol
see-
War.
Yeah, that was the Mongol War. And actually, it was two Civ Wars. First one was Frank War.
Yeah.
Then we had the Mongol War.
I was really surprised that they both did this. Is this really the first clip?
Okay.
Well, there was supposed to be a clip where he picks off... Yeah, here we are.
There we go.
Yeah, where he picks off the unloomed villager, Slam being incredibly greedy, going up to feudal age without loom,
Yeah.
trying to, eke out a little bit more of an advantage, and it doesn't pay off because HERA gets up even faster than he does and picks off a villager because there's no loom and it's just too weak.
Yeah, that was kind of unfortunate for Slam. I mean,
For
it's,
sure, obviously.
it's a risk you take.
Yeah.
And I think that was the game where I think both players took a lot of risks. Or was that the next game? With the Bloodlines thing, both
yeah,
of them
there's
took risks.
there's a lot of weird fights happening and dangerous things happening. Like here we see Slam taking a bit of a bad trade because we've got a spearman, the bottom left corner of the screen here behind the spec overlay.
Yeah, not moving.
Not getting into this fight. If he'd had the spearman, it'd be a pretty equal fight, I think. But because without it, there's 3 scouts to 1 here. Picking off scouts, picking off some vills, and just getting a nice advantage for HERA here really early in the game, plus the sniped vill that he got earlier.
Yeah, and I think that was mostly due to the fact that HERA had the scout alive still from the raid.
Yeah.
So he had that like 1 HP scout.
Just making a couple
and
of 3 extra
it was
hits
still able to get some hits in.
Yeah.
And I think, because he was faster to feudal as well, he just had that advantage in production, and he used that to sort of pressure.
Yeah, he got there just that little bit faster. He had, 1 or 2 extra military units, and Slam not using that spearman really sort of threw away that fight there.
Yeah, right. So we're going to go to the next clip.
Yep.
And that was...
Slam getting a counter raid in, which does pretty well on this wood line. Sneaks in here, there's nothing to defend it. There's only 3 scouts, so he can't do a ton of damage. It's mostly just this idle time here. I think he gets maybe 2 vills, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but I know at this point he kind of closes the villager gap, actually.
Yeah. Like, he does a really good job here, even though he has much less military. Like, you see here, HERA is streaming forwards. He's got, like, 6 scouts. Slam's only got the 3. Picks off that final villager there. He gets, I think, 2 vills in that fight, and they're basically almost even again.
With the exception of the health, I guess.
Right. And just the much larger military for HERA at this point.
Yeah, so, I mean, I think that's a necessary trade for Slam, really. He has to kind of do that.
Yeah, when you're behind, you sort of have to try to
Yeah.
take what you can. You can't just hope to somehow get in later in the game.
Exactly. And then after that, we've got another clip, I believe.
Yep, there's one more clip. This is sort of like the game-winning move. We saw Slam go up to Castle Age. HERA is instead going mass scouts on like 2 or 3 stables. And here he is, he's raiding both sides of the scouts. He's basically denying 2 different TCs at the same time. And Slam doesn't really have the military to stop this right now. He's sort of hoping to get out some knights and camels or something to defend this. He's got some light cav coming over now, but he loses a lot of vills here, delays the TC a ton. He can't make many knights because he's got no vills gathering gold at the moment.
You mean it's Slam's in the feudal age here?
Oh, is he?
Here is in the Castle
my bad.
Age.
Wrong way around.
No, it's fine. This is the one where Slam, it looks really good for Slam.
Yeah, no.
It looks really good for Slam.
The problem is that...
But it's not enough. It's not good
enough. It's not quite enough. Like, look at the vill count there. He is so far ahead.
Yeah.
And then he calls GG pretty soon after this, which I don't think is necessary.
Not happy, actually. He called GG. Slam called GG with exactly 10 villager advantage over HERA, and he reached the Castle Age.
Right.
But what happened there was he did that raid. He killed a lot of vills on those TCs and denied them for some time. But then when HERA counterattacked, Slam had nothing to defend. And instead of it being scouts, he had knights in his base.
Which are a lot harder to pick off.
But at the same time, he could have actually walled the front of his base. He only had a small gap.
Or even just spamming some spearmen out just to stall.
Yeah.
But I feel like that was a
very early GG from Slam. I really disagree with that GG from him.
Because like right after that, he was like 15 vills ahead. Yeah. But here we're going to go into the next game.
Game 3.
This is kind of a bit of a funny situation.
This is brilliant.
We see the mines going forwards, sort of like a man-at-arm trush sort of thing. Pretty standard for Miso games. And HERA's like, oh no, I see this coming. I don't like the look of this. He's going to get out there. He's going to fight it back. We see he's got this really nice map. The back wood lines, the back gold, back berries. And Slam sees, oh my god, there's so many villagers coming forwards. I don't really want to take this fight.
Yeah, and scouts as well. He doesn't want to lose those vills. He kind of wants to get them back to safety here.
And just the maneuverability of the scouts. We'll jump straight into the second clip because this continues along nicely. He's just chasing Slam's vills all the way back to his base, picking off some like free damage here and there, trying to run around, blocking the vills.
Like I really liked this one. It's so funny, but I think HERA actually didn't come out on top here. I think Slam came out on top at this point. Because what ended up happening was Slam lost like 1 or 2 vills, but HERA lost all 5 of his villages.
Yeah, all of these 4 vills. They sort of get too far forwards without any military to back it up. There's 1 spearman, and 2 spearmen and 2 scouts is all the military he has. Whereas Slam now has, 10 villagers who can fight. He's making more spearmen, he makes some skirmishers and archers. And then HERA just sort of overextends a little bit too far here.
A little bit, I think. But also at the same time, Slam's forced a lot of idols on the gold, for example. But he does end up killing those vills. But at the same time, HERA does prevent any forward towers, and he does prevent that.
Yeah, he prevents the trush from beginning, right? Because once the first tower's up, then they've got space and area to sort of keep building more towers and keep advancing into your base. Like, I think that was the correct way to defend a trush. Right? Everyone says you just vil fight them, make them go away.
Yeah.
And then he just went a little bit too far instead of coming home.
Come back.
Yeah. Normally when you cross halfway across the map, you're like, Okay, I don't think he's going to build any more towers. I can go home now
Yeah,
and
exactly.
get some farms going.
But still, it was a good play from HERA to push it back and prevent it from happening. And at this point, HERA's just all over it because he's just going to come in and pick off the siege.
Right, and he's got such a nice military combo. He's got this huge mass of cav archers, which are nice and maneuverable, and just a ton of trash light cavs in there just to tank, essentially.
Yeah,
they're not
pretty
very
much.
good against eagles. They're just there to get in the face of the skirmishers. And, Slam sees, where are all my eagles? I think a lot of them are dead now. I can't really fight this anymore with skirmishers against light cav.
That was the GG moment there for
Yeah.
Slam at that point. But the key part for me about that last engagement was you saw those skirmishers coming down from the north.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's because those cav archers had been at the back,
Raiding, exactly.
stopping reinforcements coming forward. So they kind of like, it's almost like real life. It's like cut off the supply lines and the siege gets starved. That's kind of what happened.
But yeah, an army marches on its stomach, right?
Yeah. And in that game, those cav archers, they cut off the reinforcements for long enough that Slam sent all of the skirms out of position.
To go try to clean it up.
And then he came round with the cav archers.
Because they're nice and fast and maneuverable.
Yeah, cleaned it up.
Yeah. Really, really strong showing there.
So, on to game 4.
Game 4, we've got Slavs versus Indians. And just this nice little outpost wall from Slam there.
I love
he
that.
just drops one behind that blacksmith that you can't really see, but it's there. He's got 95 stone now. He built the outpost to stop them from running into his economy, and here he's able to just sort of stall out a little bit longer with those pikemen and cav archers while trying to do some counter raids on the other side. The problem here is that the Slav economy is just up and running at this point. He's got, I think, 3 TCs, tons of farms going. His economy is looking really powerful.
For sure.
Because neither of them really did a lot in Feudal Age in that game.
No, it was a quiet feudal,
Right,
wasn't
this
it?
is
They
like
both
pick off
transitioned
1 or 2
castle.
vills, pick off a couple of scouts here and there, and then just sort of stay at home and relax.
Yeah.
Was how they played
It was quite good for both of them, but I think that favours the Slav player in a
because
way.
their economy is so much better.
They get away with that free eco.
Right.
But I still feel like we saw Slavs versus Indians and we saw Slavs versus Huns.
Yeah.
I much prefer the Indians in that position.
I don't.
You don't?
No.
Why not?
Because, okay, in the Castle Age...
Oh, wait, we're going into the next clip. I guess Will's not listening. Hold on.
That's fine. We can continue.
Yeah.
Like, this sort of explains what I'm thinking. In the Castle Age, the Indians have a pretty good advantage, I think, with their civ composition. But if we get to Imperial Age, this is a really nice forward castle, by the way, denying that stone,
Yeah, I like
the gold, it's kind of the woodline as well. The problem, though, for Imperial Age, what do the Indians do against Helm Siege?
Well, they go Cav Archer.
Which is really great against, Mass Onager and Heavy Scorpions.
No, it's not. But I
Right.
think you've got to win. You kind of got to win earlier than
Well,
that.
okay, yeah, you're forced to go Castle Age, I think, if you're
Yeah.
playing the
Yeah.
Indians. Like mass camels, mass cav archers, mass crossbows, just
I
mass
was-
everything in Castle Age.
Pissed off that game because he never made camels.
No.
And then as soon as he made camels, he started winning all the fights.
Right, but the problem was it was a little bit too late to start
Yeah,
making the
it
camels.
was too
He's
late.
never had enough camels to be able to take out
Yeah.
the huge mass of knights.
What you do
that the
against
Slav player had.
Halb Siege is don't let them get Halb Siege right
Yeah.
there. You know, you go raid
course.
them and like at that point, I think HERA was making skirms and
Skirms and knights,
knights,
pretty much.
camels, man.
Yeah, camels would have been perfect, but he didn't expect double stable knights against camels.
He
It
should have
makes
done.
sense.
He
Well-
saw it. He scouted it.
Did you scout the double stable?
He scouted the knights coming over in 2.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, Slam played the Cav Archer route, which I think is fine. I mean, I think
Right.
Cav Archers
So
are no
just
problem.
if you add
but-
in, even just 10 camels, just to sort of back them up.
But you said, I said, would you prefer the Huns or the Indians?
You said, do I prefer the Slavs or the Indians?
No, I said we saw the Slavs versus the
Oh,
Indians
okay,
and the
okay.
Slavs versus the Huns. Would you prefer the Huns or the Indians? And I'd say the Indians. I think they're more favoured than the Huns in that matchup.
Okay, no, yeah, I would agree with that.
Yeah.
I'd say the Indians are better than the Huns against Slavs.
Yeah, and so, but both players won the Slav games anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But my point being that if you're the Indians, I think you stand a chance against the Slavs
Okay, for sure.
compared to the Huns, where it's probably a bit harder in the late
Yeah.
game as well.
Well, they're both sort of in the same situation where you need to sort of go all in,
Mm.
late feudal, early castle age, something like that, and not let them get the Slav boom going.
Yeah,
Because, once
Yeah.
they've got 3 TCs, 30 farmers, you can never really stop them from having the food to make tons of units and go up to Imp.
that's true. And once they've got that eco going, they're really
Yeah.
unstoppable.
Right, you need
So
to, kill 30 villagers to equal it out, and that's incredibly
Slam
difficult to
actually
do.
held on very well that game, though. Is there any more clips?
There's one more clip for
Okay,
this.
one more clip. So we'll see that.
We see here, Slam's trying to raid in HERA's economy. HERA drops a nice house in the top right corner, blocks him off from running past that wood line. And these skirmishers just pick them off.
He's got ballistics here as
Right,
well.
there's so many of them off. He's trying to get over there and wall them in a little bit more. He loses a couple of vills, that's fine. So many of those cav archers have died, and at the same time, HERA's raiding Slam's economy, right?
Yeah,
and 1v1, a knight is so much better than a cav archer.
Oh, yeah.
And, like,
and they're getting in there. And I think he ends up killing because he's got some skirms in there. I think he killed all the knights. Most of the
cav archers.
Cav
and he
archers.
just starts picking off vills here and there.
Yeah, very easy for him.
Huge advantage. Like, Kasam, we saw he just click up to Imp. But then he loses, 20 vills instantly.
Mm.
And, now you're 30 vills behind the Slav player with a Slav eco. It's
not good.
Not going to end well. not going
good.
to end well.
He did hold on. I was going to say he held on for quite some time that game.
Right. And then there's, I think, one final fight.
Oh, okay,
that
cool.
we'll be
Let's see
seeing.
that.
Oh, yeah. They're both up to in fairly similar times. And here is just a really, really nice fight for HERA somehow.
Well, I think it's because the camels never really got involved.
Right. There's never really enough camels
No.
in this fight, basically. And he's microing these skirmishes constantly so that they're targeting the cav archers, one-shotting the cav archers, basically, instead of picking away at the camels. And then, they're still basically equal on military in that fight position.
Mm.
But Sam's lacking upgrades. His economy's falling behind. It's like 150 vills to 90 at this point.
Yeah, yeah.
HERA's probably a little bit overboomed, but better to be safe than sorry,
I was going
right?
to say that as well about the overbooming. I think HERA went up to like 155 villages.
Something like that in the end.
Which only leaves 45 military space, which Slam could have matched. Because
sure.
at that point
he
he'd
had-
caught up to 100 vills. He
Yeah.
could have maybe gotten for...
Yeah, but then as soon as HERA starts to delete a couple of vills,
Then it
then
gets
it just
troublesome.
gets bigger and bigger and bigger.
It was a tough game. Slam held on for a long time in that game, but
Sure.
it was a tough one.
Yeah, as soon as the help started coming out, the camels couldn't really do anything anymore.
Yeah, I think that was one of my favorite games of the series. I was just kind of annoyed at the lack of camels earlier on.
For sure.
But I mean, it's easier to say when you're like spectating, but
Oh, of course.
I think Slam saw the night production, and I think
Maybe a little bit stubborn, thinking, I've already got my 3 rangers.
Yeah.
I can't really afford to make camels. I'm just going to keep making the
But
cav
what if
archers
you
and
just
hope.
added a second stable and went like 2 stable camels,
Mhm.
and then you kept making some cav archers as well? Not like too many, but like then if he goes for siege and Halb, if he makes
Right.
this sort of pike switch, you've got the cav archers and the camels.
So you got a bit of both.
You do a little bit of both, I think, at least.
Yeah, I think the main problem with that is it's quite an expensive combo.
Yes,
Right? Because you
it
need
is.
a ton of gold to begin with for the 2
That's true.
units. Then you need a ton of wood to make the cav archers and a ton of food, which requires wood
Yeah.
to make the camels. So it slows down your boom a lot.
That's true.
So you're basically committing to an all-in castle age at that point, I
Well,
think.
the other option is to let the Slavs out-eco you.
Well, yeah.
So,
Right,
like we said before,
yeah.
you kind of got to win this
Yeah, you have
before
to-
it
you ha-
gets
yeah.
to that point.
You've
So
got to be aggressive.
Anyway, who are we to talk? Let's go to the next game.
Yep. Here we see the Huns versus the Slavs. And here, Slam is just using his scouts so well, running around the back, sort of doing what HERA was doing to him in the early games with really strong scout micro. He gets that one villager, he denies those farms, he gets into this wood line a little bit, sort of causes some distraction, a little bit of idle time. And then he just sort of says, I've done my bit, I'm 3 villas up, I'm just going to, run away a bit, mass up a little bit more. And we see that the KD at this point is insane.
Oh, yeah.
Slam's
12 to 2,
Slam's
was
up
it?
12 to 2
That's
in
mad.
feudal age. It's just
And also,
insane.
at that point, HERA switches into archers, which means that with small number of archers, he's never going to be able
Right.
to push out and
No.
do damage.
You need at least 10 to 15 archers.
Exactly,
If you
yeah.
want to try to fight scouts that have got bloodlines and +1 armor.
Yeah, and Slam had just that. So
Yeah,
he was,
never going to happen.
No.
He's stuck at home. Slam just goes straight up to castle age, basically. He
Yeah.
starts massing knights. We'll see in this next one how well he's using his knights as well. He's got knights and scorpions, in the middle of the map, just sort of massing up. And then he traps this small leftover army. There's a couple of spears
yes.
and these crossbows, and just absolutely annihilates them in this top
Yeah.
corner here.
and at that point, the spearmen, they're not scary anymore.
No. When you've got that many knights, and I think he loses like 2 knights there, and he picks off like 15 military units.
Well, that's fantastic, isn't it? And
Right.
then with that, I mean, because at that point, HERA's military number looked kind of scary.
Yeah.
But then that
But
army
then
over there was just
all
a
of a
bit-
sudden, this sort of a little subpar army just gets
Yeah.
picked off, and it's wow. Now Slam's in a
Yeah.
pretty good position. And then here we've got a little bit of a bad fight from Slam, where he has his mass scorpions out of position. He's got skirms and scorpions on the one side, and his knights, they're 30 tiles away. They're trying to get back there to help out, but these knights just sort of sneak around the back, start to pick off some scorpions.
Yeah, they were good.
And the Cav Archer micro from HERA here is insane.
I don't think he lost a Cav Archer at the back.
I think he lost one underneath that pile of Night Bodies.
Yeah.
But yeah, basically he doesn't lose many of his Cav Archers at all. He picks up a lot of the Scorpions, which are a little bit cheaper for the Slavs, but it's still time investment, right? If you've only got one Siege Workshop.
Well, it is time and resources.
Well,
I mean, even
yeah.
if they're cheaper, it's still costing you the cost of the Siege Workshop
Right.
plus
The cost of the Scorpions.
Like, if you built 10 Scorpions, you could probably build, like, what, 6 Knights with the same
Easily.
resource cost?
If not more.
Yeah.
For sure.
So it's you are making that trade, even if they're cheaper and even if they don't matter so much.
Yeah, the big problem is, like, if you want to make another 10 Scorpions, you know, that's going to take your Siege Workshop 5 minutes to make those.
Yeah.
Which is a long time, right?
a
If you've
long
got 2
time.
Scorpions by themselves, are not very powerful.
No.
If you've got 10 Scorpions, you, like, run the hell away because it's
need to
going to
do something
destroy
about them.
everything.
Yeah. But I think Slam made a lot of Scorpions in that game and the last game.
Mhm.
They were a bit underwhelming, as
In the
always.
last game. Well, I think in this last one,
Last clip.
we're going to see the Scorpions. Yeah, there's not many Scorpions. They do okay. But the big problem here for HERA, he's not up to Imperial Age. His Cav Archers are out of position. These Knights and Skirms are running in here. He's about to get Cavalier, about to get Plate Binding Armor.
But not only that, I think as well, the other thing is obviously the upgrades coming through, but he GGs before the upgrades come through because the skirmishers are coming in
Coming
from
around the back,
behind.
chasing him in. And those 2 Scorpions, they're still there. They're still picking away, doing a little bit of damage.
I would love to be able to see like an individual unit and how much damage it's done.
Right, and just click on it and it says this unit
Like
stealth.
that Scorpion did like 100 damage, right?
Yeah,
and then
something
you
like that.
compare that to the Knight or the Skirmish, and then you can sort of actually see what's more effective in the fight. So I think that would be a really cool thing to be able to do, but
That would be interesting.
maybe Definitive Edition?
Maybe.
Maybe
That
not.
would be cool.
I have no idea. I hope they do something like that, but
For sure.
cool.
And then our final game, unfortunately.
So
we
that
all
was
know-
4-1.
That was
at
4-1
point.
here.
Slam went on to win that one.
Yep. Well, yeah, because we just saw HERA GG
Yeah.
right at the end of that fight. And here, HERA just sort of throwing away his Man-at-Arms. I felt his Dark Age was kind of strange in this fight. Or in this game, sorry.
Yeah, it was.
Because he built the barracks really late. His Man-at-Arms were really late to get in there. He didn't add any Spearmen either.
Yeah, he didn't have enough wood for his barracks because
okay.
he built a second lumber camp really late, and then he was waiting for the wood to come in to actually build the barracks.
Right.
So-
Normally you make the lumber camp after you make the barracks, not first. Okay.
and his barracks was very late as a result.
Right.
And I think he just didn't have a smooth Dark Age.
Yeah. Because normally, by the time your Man-at-Arms attack, you know, they've got 2 scouts and you've got 3 Man-at-Arms, and you just destroy that if they try to fight you. But, you know, by the time he finally attacked, there's 5 scouts, Magyar scouts, by the way, plus 1 attack
Yep.
on them all. It's not a good fight.
No.
3v5.
It's not good. I mean, to be fair, like men at arms are okay against scouts in small numbers.
Right.
But as soon as the scouts have the numbers advantage,
Right.
then you start to lose
And then
that fight.
it's too easy just to micro, like pull away the weak
Yeah,
scout because
exactly.
they're so fast,
Mhm.
and then the Man-at-Arms chase them for a little bit,
Yeah.
and it doesn't end very well.
So
Okay.
moving on to the next clip
Next
and
clip.
the final game.
Right.
Oh, this was huge.
This is huge, right? Slam does so much damage with these scouts. He's on the gold, he's on the wood, he picks off like 6 or 7 villages here, and he's just up to Castle Age. It's like you would think, wow, Slam's in a really good position here.
Yeah,
His
right.
skirms, they're picking off some of the spearmen in the north. And they're probably going to die, but that's fine. They're keeping the spears away from the scouts.
That was so good for Slam. He had so many villagers at that point in advantage. As you say, he was on the way up to the Castle Age. He suicided his whole army for that, but he killed so much of HERA's economy there.
I feel like if this was a normal game and Slam was fully walled, there's no way he could lose this
It's
game.
over, yeah.
The fact is, because it's no walls, you know, they can always come back in and counter raid you, which we're going to see happen right now, where HERA basically says,
Oh, no, that's the same clip.
sort of the same ending of the clip.
We'll have the next one.
Here we go.
There it is.
So he's just got tons of barracks, and he's got this huge, massive eagles out the front of Slam's base. And you can't really stop that many eagles easily.
No, not
just-
really.
No, it's not easy at all. Like, a knight can probably trade, you know, 1.5 eagles quite easily. But the
Mhm.
eagles, you know, half as expensive.
It's just sheer numbers
Yeah,
at that
basically.
point. Like,
It's so easy to mass eagles because they basically only cost gold.
yeah.
And gold is pretty quick to gather once you've got the gold upgrades.
And when you're not being raided, it's
Yeah,
like
it's
you're,
so much
you're
easier.
you're unstoppable. But I feel like in this game, like we did see the problem. I think you said it in the chat as well. Like he made that forward siege workshop.
yeah.
He invested in a siege workshop.
He tried, yeah. I think if he'd gone TCs first, because he was up first, right?
Mm.
He could have kept making knights from two stables while booming at home at the same time. Then once HERA starts to mass eagles. You add your own stables. You add more knights.
Yeah.
And like as long as you stay, within 10 military count, 50, 40,
Yeah.
20, 30, whatever it is, you should be fine.
See, in that game, Slam actually had like a 10 villager lead going up to the Castle Age, plus
Yep.
the Castle Age upgrade was faster.
Yeah.
At
it's
that
huge.
point, I thought, if HERA pushes out now, Slam just lost all of his military, he would push him off gold, he would raid, he would do damage. But I almost feel like Slam caught a break with the fact that
Right.
HERA didn't counterattack.
It was very lucky there as well. But I think the forward siege workshop was just a bit of a brain fade,
It's
honestly,
unnecessary.
because he's got no military, so he can't
Yeah.
defend the
Oh,
forward
exactly,
build.
yeah.
Right, one skirmisher comes over, and even if you're walled in, it's going to stop you from building it.
Yeah.
And
And-
waste of
and
wood,
in
waste
that-
of a villager.
In that situation, I mean, that 200 wood could be spent
And
on
a
a
TC
TC.
instantly.
And that would, A, defend your economy earlier on,
Yeah.
and B, allow you to get to the point where you can make more knights, because you need the knight production to
Exactly.
stop the eagles.
Exactly.
And I feel like the knights would have been a lot more effective than the scorpions, at least. I don't know. Hard
Well,
to say.
we're going to see in the final fight of the game that Slam really does not use his scorpions well. The scorpions are in front of the knights, which is not how it's supposed to be.
No,
Right.
they're like falconets. They need to be at the back.
Exactly, right? And there's this one converted knight and a couple of eagles running around picking off all the scorpions while the other eagles just kill everything else.
I mean, the pikemen weren't even in that fight.
Right.
Yeah.
He didn't even use the anti-cavalry unit against the cavalry.
Yeah.
And the scorpions, they were just too far out by themselves, unable to really do anything before dying instantly. And then, he's got 2 TCs shooting arrows at the army, but he's still 70-ish army to 20 at this point. And then just gets worse and worse, and there's nothing he can do about this anymore.
No, and it's over at that point. I mean, I was really rooting for Slam there. I was like, you can't lose this game, Slam. It went so well at the early game.
Yeah, that scout raid, you were in a huge winning position, and then...
And I said in a normal game, like, he would have walled off that left side, probably.
And he'd be fine.
And he would have bought himself the time.
Yeah, to get the boom going.
No walls mod.
No walls.
You gotta-
Forces
you gotta-
you to be aggressive.
Yeah, do you think you would have been better off taking a civ that had some kind of an eco bonus? The Berbers, the
Probably.
maybe the Malians.
Yes, I think Marlians would... Yeah, any civ with an eco bonus, I think, is far better.
Yeah,
Because a lot of scout civs, you very much want to play a scout rush, make 10 or so scouts, get bloodlines, +1 armor, then wall up and go to Castle Age really quickly. Like, that's sort of one of the metas.
yeah.
But you can't do that with no walls. And once your scouts are dead, you've got nothing to follow up with until Castle Age.
No.
And
And
yes,
that's why I say he caught a lucky break.
right, even though
because HERA
HERA didn't
yeah.
pressure him, HERA was still massing eagles. He had 15-ish eagles.
Yeah, right.
When he hits Castle Age, instantly upgrades them. Slams made 4 knights in that time.
It's a tough
Which
one.
is
I mean, obviously
risky.
it's hidden picks, so we didn't know he was going to be up against the
Obviously.
Aztecs. But
But
I
I
do
was-
think there's better picks out there than necessarily going for the Magyars in that
Yeah, for sure.
situation.
I wouldn't put them in the top 9.
No.
For me, I would not have picked them at all.
The
in
other
this
civ
matchup.
picks seem to make sense. Like, there were no real bad picks
sure.
previously. We did-
Mayans is probably a little questionable without
Mm.
walls, simply because you want to wall up and make plumes and
Yes.
utilize your really strong economy to make your cheap units and spam it.
Right, exactly.
So he tried to do the smart thing and be aggressive, and he got pushed back.
Yeah.
Which
Well, the Mayan game especially was like, well, okay, yeah, the Mayans are strong, but they need to be using their actual, core units.
Right.
Not skirms and
Exactly.
whatever else he had. Some
Yeah.
Castle
Skirms
Age
and crossbows.
Eagles.
Yeah.
But anyway, that was the review. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the series. Obviously it's a 5-1 HERA, so it's a little bit disappointing scoreline. I was kind of hoping Slam would bring a bit more fight to the table.
Well, he fought hard in all the games for sure. He didn't just roll over and die at minute 15 or anything like that.
Fall over and die. That's like your favorite saying.
Yeah.
He didn't fall over and die, so it's okay.
Yeah, it's okay. He fought them all out. He did his best.
Yeah.
Some of the games he was in winning positions for a while.
I agree. And I think he, give him a few more weeks, he'll be back in form. Maybe we'll get Slam back. But make sure you
hopefully.
tune in next Friday. We will be doing another show match at the same time. But the stream isn't over yet. So we're going to be doing more. I think I'm going to hand off to Will here. He's going to take over from me. I'm going to have a little break. And I'll catch you guys in a little bit.
Cool. See you, Zach. Have
Bye-bye.
fun in the booth.
Well, don't actually. I'm saying bye. These guys aren't. So stay where you are.
Yes.
We're not going anywhere
We'll
yet.
be here.
No, I'm joining Robo.
Oh boy.
Hello.
What's on the cards?
The
Well,
cards.
Other than this card, what's on your cards? What are we doing?
I didn't bring a card.
Oh well,
Oh,
we've
oh
got a
dear.
problem then.
God, that last game, man. I was really hoping Slam would.
I know.
Come through and win.
Like the 3 of us in the booth, Ham,
Yeah.
yourself, and myself. We were like, "Come on, Slam, you can do this. You can do this." Like that scout raid, we were like, "Yes, go
Yeah.
Slam!" And
Yeah, just because
and-
you
yeah.
want to see the series like be closer and go longer, and small games is more fun, right?
Yeah, for
But,
sure.
yeah, that was a fun. It's always fun at the end when you really are cheering and you've got someone to cheer for. And,
Yeah, everyone likes the underdog.
And obviously we're really appreciative to HERA as well. But yes, what's on the